Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. And this is now episode 291. In this episode, we're going to recap the NBA draft, talk about Jordan Poole being traded to the Wizards, and the three-team deal that sent Kristaps Porzingis to Boston, Marcus Smart to Memphis, and Tyus Jones to Washington. A lot of things to unpack on this episode. We had two mega trades and the NBA draft, and we're going to talk about the draft first. But how you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing more well than usual for the sole fact that I won. I won in the debate, guys. I won the Jordan Poole Austin Reeves debate because I know for a firm fact that my boy Austin Reeves would never in his right mind be traded for CP3. I'm sorry. There's no way you can convince me that my team would want my contract off the books so damn badly that they want me off the team to bring in a 38-year-old and also give them some picks too while we're at it. That's how desperate we are to get this guy off our team. So it feels good knowing that I got that W because I remember those conversations and they were nasty. Nasty, Mr. Regular.
This man is running a victory lap off a trade.
Wouldn't you?
Year 5 Poole is gonna look.
Year 5 Jordan Poole is still a thing.
No, that's what I said. I gave him that credit. I said, hey, maybe year 5.
So when Poole puts up 27, 28 next year,
bro, it's gonna be viral, bro. 25 points per game, 41% from the field, 32% from three. Hey, 90% from the free throw line. He
13 feet in the East.
He can. He's cooking. Let him cook. Let Jordan cook. He looks clean in that jersey, though. I'll give you that.
He's gonna put up a calm little 23, 24. It's gonna be on solid efficiency. 44, 38, 91.
91. No, 91's possible. The 91's possible. He knows how to knock down his free throws.
Calm efficiency. Other people can't do that when they're stars of the team. They're more role players. They played role players their whole lives. So, that's why the giggles are funny. But when a man like Jordan Poole, he steps up to the plate, we've seen that. Get some W's. So Washington, it's going to be fun to watch.
And you have a new team now.
Oh, yes. I have officially grabbed you.
Let the people know yes.
Please pull up the tweet.
The up-to-date.
Streets need it.
The up-to-date River Brown.
If you guys didn't know, it's 6 teams from the East. It's 6 teams from the West. A total of 12 teams.
Yes, so officially, after the NBA draft, in this order, it is the Warriors.
These are your teams you're rooting for next season.
Yes. The Warriors, the Bulls.
Number 1. Warriors, number 1.
Yes.
Okay, this
Bulls,
is in order.
In order.
Got it.
Warriors, Bulls, Pistons, Clippers, Cavs, OKC, Rockets, Jazz, the Wizards, Hawks, Heat, Memphis.
Where did the Hawks agenda come from? What's that? DeJounte.
Yeah. But if he gets traded, that's why I'm moving.
I'm joining you in Memphis.
Hey,
I'm here.
Oh, you're a smart guy. Yeah. Huh? I unfortunately forgot to add the Trailblazers because Cam Reddish, but honorary.
You are.
I'm not changing the tweet though.
Not a 13 though.
They are, but I just don't feel like changing the tweet.
But you have 13 teams.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe possibly 14.
Who'd the Grizzlies get?
They have John Moran. I love John Moran.
They just being last on your list. Kind of forgot.
Because I don't like the rest of them.
You're not a Marcus Smart guy?
Not really. Not at
Casual.
all.
6 teams from the East, 6 teams from the West.
We're going to have fun next year.
Only Riv.
That's a lot of teams to root for. He's going to be a very busy person during
what happened to the game I love?
That killed me.
That's what YouTube TV's for. I have to watch a lot of games. NBA League Pass. To watch some games.
Be able to watch someone every night.
Yeah, no, it's going to be tough. Usually because I catch the Warriors, and luckily the Warriors and Clippers play really late, so I can always catch those like 10, 11 o'clock. The rest of the teams, though, some of them play 6, 7,
this is perfect. You watch Jordan Poole at 8 o'clock. You watch the Warriors at 10, 11 p.m. That's perfect.
Or I can watch
and then you cry yourself to sleep.
Why would I cry myself?
It's not going to be a nice season for you guys.
Hilarious coming from you.
We just went to the WCF, close you out, 30 ball.
Nothing could be worse than watching Westbrook for 2 years. I'm just going to sit here and be honest
with you. It was a year and a half.
Nothing could be worse. I'll be okay.
It's all right. Listen, we got him off the team. Thank you for your
8 o'clock, I'll watch the Wizards. I'll probably be upset. But then 10 o'clock, that boy, come on. I'll be all right. Always. Be okay.
As long as you have Steph, you should be okay.
I forgot to tell you guys, if PG goes to the Knicks, the Clippers are cut out. The Knicks go in that spot. Yeah. Like swiftly, too. This shit happens very quickly.
I understand. Yeah. So in that order, like just where the Clippers are, just put the Knicks.
Take out the Clippers, plug in the Knicks.
That's pretty high.
Yeah. They're
fourth, right?
Wow.
They're poor George, bro.
We're going to have 2 Knicks fans on the show.
That's crazy.
Listen,
I just get thrown away like trash.
Yeah.
You haven't talked about him in a minute.
I haven't.
It's been a minute.
Because why is it exactly that I haven't
Hasn't been
been
fun to
so?
talk about.
Yeah, no, really.
Haven't been. I mean, they're in Levine rumors and Paul George rumors now.
Hey, they got Levine.
you're
viral.
really here, yeah.
oh man,
That package was nice.
You need that or no?
no, I hope we don't get Levine.
thought
That's
Levine-
actually one of the
Levine
players I
doesn't
don't
wanna
want.
He didn't want to go. I needed that package. Though, I'll be honest.
What was back?
It was
QG?
It was 3 picks, 3 first-round picks. It was I think RJ, and it was one of them young boys.
Not QG.
Oh, Quinn. Okay,
Congrats.
probably quickly. I was fine with that. Just give me the 3 first.
Mhm.
Get off the contract. RJ's like at 22 million. That's fine.
He's at a-
You
whatever.
can get off the
Respectable.
Jack
contract.
is at $40 million. Listen, if we can't
Pay
win,
him
that's
that
fine.
happily, man.
Yeah.
Bring him to LA.
No, I was
Austin
cool with that.
Reeves.
Those 3 picks. I've been
All right,
fine
relax.
watching.
I
RJ.
like Paul George to the
Untouchable.
Knicks, but I just don't want to give up a lot of assets for Paul George.
He's also
RJ
injury
gone?
prone.
No, I want to keep him.
Oh,
Growth.
back.
Proud of you, man.
Okay.
It could be
Yes,
growth.
he's bought himself another year.
Is it? Oh, it's
Yeah.
just
He had
You want to
multiple.
keep him. Period.
He had
not
multiple
just
good
for
playoff
Paul
series.
George.
He did.
I don't know if it's growth because it's February. This could all change.
Agreed.
So let's wait.
This
and
could
see.
change in
What's the
October.
hype with RJ Barrett? He had 2 good
This
games.
could change 2 weeks into
Yeah,
the season.
so you know,
It's June.
yeah, no, he's
What
gonna
did
be.
you- what
He
month
said
did say?
February.
Oh, wait till February. You
Yeah,
said.
so-
Yeah. Got it.
I don't have to wait that long. I really don't think.
I don't think he'll,
Nah, no
he'll
way.
jump off
October.
in November.
October.
October's
It's Joel
nuts.
Moran.
It's like 2 games in.
We're gonna be in middle of January. It's gonna be like his 2023 stats. It's gonna be the 2-month span.
So before we go on to the first topic, just to announce that we have merch dropping soon, and this is how it looks like on the screen. If you're on YouTube, you can see the merch, the hat, shirt, and shorts. We're gonna drop it in black and white. Let us know what you guys think of it. We're planning to drop it very soon and also rocking it on the show. Now, on to the first topic.
Here we go,
Let's get right into it.
sir.
We're going to grade the NBA draft lottery, and then we're going to each give our favorite picks of the draft outside the lottery.
Let's lock in.
Pick number 1, Victor Wembanyama to
Pick
the Spurs.
stinks.
They talked about him enough on the draft.
You know,
last
they
night.
were going.
I don't think.
I wish
think
I
people
like
can
it.
say anything about
No,
it.
bro, they was force feeding him to us, bro. Like it
Yeah.
was crazy. Like it was like 18th pick. They brought
You
him
got
back
like
up.
2 hours of TV time.
What
whether
killed
it's
me was the
highlights,
Spurs
interviews.
running the clock down to 0.
Yeah.
That was so unnecessary.
It
That
was
shit
nuts.
was
It was milking
unnecessary.
him insane. But yeah, A+++ pick.
Yep.
We can move on.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna work
agree.
out with Tim Duncan stuff.
Might work out with David Robinson too.
Yeah.
Number 2, the Hornets.
This
Here
is
we
where the
go.
Brandon
conversation
Miller.
started,
Here we
man.
go.
There we go. Who'd you guys have on the mock? I don't remember.
I picked Scoot.
You picked Scoop.
But
second
the
mock.
the first one we did have Brandon Miller on there.
You see the kind of theory going around that Shams, since he works for FanDuel, put that out to get some extra money on.
No, he fucked me. Because
Oh, yeah, you did
Eamon was
have-
a plus 290 at 3, and he gassed me thinking Scoot would go 2. So I was like, Drew's been putting in my head Eamon might go 3. I've been seeing some
I'm
reports.
sorry.
I was like, let me put the gamble in, whatever, you know. And then Scoot didn't get picked. I was like, it's
Yeah,
over.
Because if school would have gone 2, I'm pretty
got interesting.
convinced that
It got
Eamon
interesting.
could have won 3.
Shams is one of the most respected journalists in the game.
For
He does an
sure.
awesome job reporting. So no discredit to him. But that particular situation is fishy.
It is a little
That
bit.
particular situation is
He's
fishy.
had a rough 3 days.
because he works
Yes.
for a sports book, and Woj this entire time has been saying that Miller is the pick, and Shams comes around and says, "You know what? Here comes Scoot." It shifts the odds a little bit. People now start to put money on it.
Should
It
we
is
say
a bit
Woj is
shady.
back at the top of the game?
He never left.
Yeah.
'Cause no, I feel like that one off season, Shams was cooking him. We put Shams at the top of the game.
It also rubs people the wrong way that he tweets the pick before the pick actually happens.
I think we're just behind.
no, we're
No, we
not.
were watching
We're
cable last
watching
night.
cable television
I don't know because some people were getting it before. Like I checked the Discord and they were
Again,
getting it
they were
before.
getting-
because the
alerts.
Shams, the
And they said they weren't going
Woj-
to do it this year too.
No,
and they
Woj
still
said he
did it.
wouldn't do it this year.
Oh, I thought
he
Woj
did
was
it.
still doing it.
Woj, but
He
for
did his
the
first
He did it for
I was gonna
Lakers.
say for the Cam Whitmore pick, he's like, there's really strong
Yeah,
expectation
that's how
that
they usually-
Whitmore
that's how they
slide
do it,
stops here.
Expectation.
Yeah. It's like they're heavily focused on this player.
I'm gonna give Brandon Miller a B grade,
I agree.
Agree.
That's
and
a perfect
the only
grade.
reason why it's not higher is because I love Brandon Miller, the player. I love the fit. But if I'm drafting and I'm the Hornets general manager, I understand that making this pick is going to make my fan base upset. And given how Hornets fans reacted to this draft pick
They were
is
devastated.
the reason why it's a B. Because now you lost the support of the fans. Until Brandon Miller shows you he is legit, the fans are not going to
Yeah.
trust any moves you make going forward right now.
No way.
Well, they shouldn't trust the moves they make. With all due respect to the Hornets, they don't have the best track record. I would go a little higher. I think I would go B+ here. I know everyone wanted Scoot. I would have gone Scoot if I was here. Just take best player available. But I love the fit. I love the fit next to LaMelo. And even though everyone wants Scoot, it's not like Brandon Miller is like in this. He's like 2 tiers below Scoot. Like I do think Scoot's better than him, but Brandon Miller is going to come in and be able to contribute right away. And to be honest, fans, they're going to be sick no matter what. I mean, obviously you take Scoot, most of them are going to be happy, but I don't think you can make draft picks or trades or anything like that with the fans in mind, because most of the time they don't know what they're saying.
The speed that this offense could have played with if Scoot would have came to Charlotte, it would have been beautiful. We don't know what's going to happen with Miles Bridges' situation, of course, whether he's going to be on the Hornets next year or not. But what I envision with the 3 of them is just transition offense, just the speed that they would play with. But now that Brandon Miller's in town, that situation now really gets foggy. You really don't know what's going to happen with Miles. Gordon Hayward's still on the team. The expectation, if I am a Hornets fan, I would believe that Brandon Miller probably gets to start. This is the number 2 overall pick. You're probably trying to groom him to be one of your guys for the future. Sure.
No way.
Gordon Hayward should be your 6th man off the bench for sure. However, passing on Scoot, this one burns. It burns for the fact that you really get LaMelo. If you're a Hornets fan, what are you looking at me like that?
What?
I'm sorry, bro. You just gave me a look like passing on Scoot was okay.
Nah. What do you?
Bro, I'm sorry, bro. I just
You're
facial.
emotional right now?
No, bro. Your facial expression.
No. I was just listening.
All right, man. Great. I really regret stopping my monologue for that. Yeah, he's a sicko. But regardless, Brandon Miller, I would give a B. Joel, B+ is fine, but there's no way you can give this an A grade just for the fact that Scoot Henderson, in my opinion, is the better prospect. You could talk about better fit because they don't necessarily per se need a point guard with LaMelo, but still, you need to add best available talent, especially to a team like the Charlotte Hornets. This guy, man, is killing me today.
Timing that happened.
Is that a yawn?
Yeah, it was. It was terrible timing.
Bro, we played ball for like 2.5 hours, man. We're
there
beat.
from like 9 a.m. to like 2 p.m., man. It was like a shift.
He's not even kidding.
It's so tough because Brandon Miller is a good kid, and you saw the way he was interviewing, the way his parents were excited. He really probably works hard, and you saw the Alabama. He was a leader for the team. He was a great player. It really is going to be tough that the fans are going to just not be on his side, kind of because they wanted Scoot. The Hornets organization seems like they really wanted Brandon Miller. They fell in love with Brandon Miller. LaMelo was texting Brandon Miller before the trade, before the pick even happened, so he even knew that Brandon Miller was going to go too. He seemed pretty okay with it. They were texting back and forth. But you got to give this grade a B because Scoot is the better prospect, but I do like the fit. I think the fit works really well. I think Brandon Miller can complement LaMelo very well. I think he's still a really good player. He can become something great one day. It just sucks because when you're an organization and you kind of have a fan base where you haven't done much, you haven't drafted well in a long, probably never, ever. And you haven't given the fans anything to really, outside the Al Jefferson, Kemba Walker days, you haven't given them much as of late. And they've been screaming Scoot. And you go the opposite way. You have to really, really trust your gut in this situation and really believe like Brandon Miller can be the one. So if they really trust in this position and he becomes the one, then they hit a home run. But I would give this a B. I still think Brandon Miller is a great prospect. I think he was top 3, top 4 in this class, and I still think he's going to be a great player.
I don't think this is a doomsday situation like a lot of just basketball fans are acting like it is. The way people reacted to this pick, you would think that Brandon Miller was Anthony Bennett or something. And that's kind of the line that I draw when it comes to the Scoot and Miller debate.
They've been traumatized, bro.
Scoot is a better player, but Brandon Miller is right there with him. He's not. It's not that big of a gap.
Agreed.
So because of that, I don't know why there's so much backlash for this pick.
They got history, bro. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. That stays in their head.
Adam Morrison, bro. I got to keep going back to it.
It's sad, man.
I'm forgetting one more they had.
Malik Monk over Donovan Mitchell.
God,
that hurts.
I understand it though.
At the time, Malik was really good.
At the time, nobody really had Mitchell over Monk.
That one was like can't be too mad, but damn, what Mitchell is today and Monk is today.
And also, like, Kidd-Gilchrist really was good in Kentucky.
You see his jumper.
It was ugly.
It was funky, bro. I don't like.
Woo. Gilchrist was one of those players that he was your prototypical hard worker.
RJ Barrett.
That didn't have any other real skill set he can offer.
He was so good.
And you were just banking that he would work hard and all of his flaws would go away.
It was unfortunate.
He was a good defender.
Yeah, he was. Number 3, the Blazers, Scoot Henderson.
Home run.
Fell into their lap.
Oh, what are they gonna do with Dame, man? Like, it's so aggravating. Now apparently there's rumors out that Dame might stay and mentor Scoot.
That's not fire.
It'd be good. Everything he said he didn't want to do.
It'd be cool.
Is anything can Dame do anything that would make you happy?
Leave and go
request a trade?
Yeah.
Why?
Think so why? What is the point of staying?
Respect.
He wants to
already
be
has
For the
organization.
No, respect to the organization.
I feel like
he put in his time.
Yeah, I think it hits a certain point where, like, you've put in your time, you've put in your effort, you've done all you can for an organization where you both can come to a mutual agreement that, like, I understand we have to go in this direction. I understand I have to go in this direction. Dame needs to go in the direction where I need to compete for a championship. My window is closing. I'm getting up there in age. I need to be on the contending team. And Portland should be in a direction where we need to go into full rebuild. We need to finally build a different team with a different point guard. You have Scoot Henderson sitting right here in your lap. So, and I feel like Dame as a I think his ego is getting a little bit to him. Maybe not, I don't want to say ego, but his pride a little bit, in the sense of this is his city, this is his franchise. I understand that he wants to be the one to bring the first championship to Portland. And that's a big milestone. We've seen Giannis do it. That was such a big. We've seen the Joker do it with Denver. That's a big milestone, bringing that first championship to an organization. But at the same time, I feel like Dame, like, nobody's going to criticize you for leaving, bro. Like, you have an opportunity. You've done all you can for that Portland Trailblazers team. You have an opportunity to leave. And Scoot's sitting right there. I don't think he needs the mentorship. I think you've seen Scoop. He has the family behind him. He's pretty mature for his. He doesn't need the mentorship, but he needs to run the show.
He would benefit greatly from it.
Yeah, but get mentorship from Dame, you take it.
But would Dame benefit from it?
No, maybe.
He's playing with a great prospect that is gonna.
What does that do for him?
But it's not going to help
getting
him
more
get to the
talent.
finals.
Well, I think the gripe with Dame is not that whether each decision is going to make me happy or mad. It's more so what he's been saying and how the actions are not reflecting what he's been saying. This entire offseason, we've heard that if the Blazers move into a youth movement, Dame is going to request a trade. Whether those reports are true or not, they have come from credible sources. And now it seems like Dame is going to stay if they're in a youth movement. This is a team that has made the playoffs the last 2 seasons. 2 years ago it was because Dame was injured. Last year, they didn't make it. Dame got shut down like a month and a half before the season ended, and he made it clear that he wants to win. Him staying in Portland is doing the complete opposite of that. And I think that is where the backlash comes from. It's like the Bradley Beal situation where you guys constantly complain about losing, but you have an opportunity to go and win, and you're not taking it. And I think that's the frustration with Dame right now. If you're going to stay, stay. If you're going to leave, then leave. But don't be half in and half out.
And I don't think at this point, if the Blazers were to trade, they probably would have traded the pick before they select Scoot, right? It seems unlikely that you take Scoot, sign him to his rookie contract, then trade him after the fact. I mean, it's still possible, but you typically, you see the trade happen before the player gets selected. And the front office is just in a weird place now where Dame is saying these things, right? Where if there is a youth movement, he doesn't want to stay. But if I'm the Blazers in the front office, you should be going towards a rebuild. It looks a lot brighter down the line with Simon, Sharp, Scoot now, and future picks, rather than trying to put some sort of contender together where realistically, even if you are able to, best case scenario, it's not going to happen. But say you get a Jaylen Brown, right? I think that's probably the best player to be able to get. You're not beating Denver with Dame, Jaylen Brown, and whatever other pieces are going to be out there. Scoot.
There's not many championship-making moves that can be made right now.
So that's why
and
even if you do make the deal, it's like you're probably going to be at best a second-round exit team, and that's, I think, the high end of things. So the Blazers have to make a decision one way or the other, and it feels like at this point it's more likely Dame leaves.
He was on Instagram Live, and he was playing
Welcome
the song
to
in the back
Miami.
to Miami.
Yeah.
He's been trolling.
I say this about the Portland situation. The last 2 years, right, Damian Lillard has been very vocal about not wanting to be on a losing team. However, in these 2 years, the Blazers have acquired Shaedon Sharpe, who provides an insane amount of upside. And now you just acquired Scoot Henderson, landing at the number 3 position, which was a complete shock and very fortunate of the Portland Trailblazers. They acquired both of these great prospects while still having Dame on the roster. Now, I'm with you guys. I can understand where there'd be a little bit of a disdain for just the difference of opinions when it comes to Damian Lillard and the reports that have come out. And of course, you just read what you see. So I can't get too mad about you guys having that statement. But I still look at what Portland has done these last 2 years. They've only improved the roster in terms of you have two young pieces that can be foundational for the Portland Trailblazers. And let me also add a third because I don't want to discredit Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons, having him on a team-friendly deal, I believe he has 3 years now left on his contract. They'll have $75 million to pay him because his contract was 4 years, $100 million. That started this past season. They've done the right things while they have been playing losing basketball, still while having Damian Lillard on the team. I can understand where you might have some feelings towards Dame, but what the Portland Trailblazers have done these last 2 seasons for their organization will benefit them in the future.
But they've done nothing.
It's a losing team still, though.
The past
Fair,
2 years,
but I think that we can look at these foundational pieces, Shaedon Sharpe, Scoot Henderson.
Amazing.
But
they've done
that's
nothing.
something to be happy about.
Those are building blocks for a rebuild. In the past 2 years, they
Correct.
built nothing but great building blocks for a rebuild. Simon, Scoot, Nasir Little's a good player.
Cam Reddish.
Yeah, good player.
I think it's good for Portland. It's not good for Dame. When Kobe Bryant wanted out of the Lakers in 2007, he was growing tired of the roster. He said, if you guys don't make a big-time move, then I'm leaving. They went and they got Pau Gasol. So
Kobe and Dame just on different levels at that point in their careers.
Right now, Dame is in a level where he's in his prime. He doesn't have 4 or 5. Maybe he does. I'm not sure in this current NBA with the tools that we have for modern day athletes. But Dame, he needs to contend for a championship. He can't wait for Scoot, Simons, and Sharpe to develop for 3 years, and then now he can compete. Yeah. He needs to compete now. So I think that's a similarity in a situation where Kobe Bryant gave the Lakers an ultimatum. You're either making a big-time move or I'm leaving. Dame has made that ultimatum reportedly, and now that trade has came, and it seems like he's staying in Portland.
There's trades out there if they want to make it. I know Miami's still interested. I'm sure the Bucks would do anything to get him on that team. So if they want a package, it's out there, but it feels like their best chance was to do it before the draft.
If I'm Portland, though, I feel like what I'm doing, I'm following what our game plan is. And yes, Damian Lillard may be making it a little bit confusing for us, but if you're Portland, you understand that Damian Lillard is arguably the best player that they've ever had in their franchise. And so you probably do everything you can to cater to him while also understanding this team's not where we need it to be. And they've only added strong talent, young talent in this draft these last couple of seasons. I'm with you guys. They're not playing winning basketball. Ultimately, that's what matters, especially when you have Dame. But in Damian's career, I believe he's only missed the playoffs twice when he's been healthy.
Last 2 years.
So I was going to say he had the abdominal injury, missed a great portion of the season. Yep. And then last season, obviously he got shut down, but that was towards the end of the season. So I believe there's only 2 seasons where he was healthy that he missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
So Damian gives you that chance to compete, to at least be in contention to make the playoffs. But even this last season, that wasn't enough. They were able to secure a top 3 spot due to the lottery and the luck of that too. But I feel as if I'm Portland, the way that I look at it, I feel like they're making the right moves while still having this massive contract, this fringe superstar player in Damian Lillard on their team.
It's just hard to do both. We see the Warriors.
I agree.
It's very hard to develop your young guys and try to compete. And the Warriors had a way better roster than Portland does.
Shaedon developed beautifully towards the end of last season. We expect Scoot. Let me not say I won't say he is supposed to be great going into his rookie season, but 2-3 years down the line, Damian Lillard should still be, if not towards the back end of his prime, but nevertheless still in his prime. It could get interesting depending on the moves that they make. And then if you have Scoot, who's developed very nicely, Shaedon continues to develop the way that he showed that he can his rookie season. Damian's Damian. Maybe Portland decides to be a little bit more aggressive on the trade market. They go and they make a splash. Now you have 4 guys, and this is a hypothetical, of course. Whoever they acquire, if you can really believe in that, I mean, respect Anthony Simons as well.
He'll probably be gone.
Anthony, you'll probably be a part of that trade.
You don't think that you're being a bit too optimistic on the Blazers situation?
I think I am, and I definitely get where you're coming from. I just feel like Anthony Simons, Scoot Henderson, great foundational pieces for the future. That's how I look at it. The Dame situation, I feel like, is where I'm being kind.
You're admitting that you would keep Dame, but that leaves no room for Simons to fully develop to what
understandable. I feel like with Scoot, with Dame, Anthony's role kind of gets harder to distinguish where it is. He becomes the piece that becomes expendable. And with a guy whose contract's as great as it is, 3 years, 75, that's someone that teams are going to want.
Next up, the Rockets, Amen Thompson.
Another great pick. Talk to me, Riv. Your Rockets.
Yeah, new and
You and Joel are going to be seeing eye to eye a lot this season.
Yeah, I'm a Sengun guy now.
Sengun.
I've been
Wow.
a Sengun guy.
You have been a Sengun guy.
No, this was a pick. They got their guy. They wanted this guy for a minute. He fell right into their laps. They had to do nothing extra. He just brings a different type of athleticism and explosion to the league. Brings a different type of twitchiness. The jumper needs some work, obviously, but Ime being the coach makes me a little bit more like confident because that defense, that intensity that Amon brings on the other end, Ime is gonna like that about him from day one. And plus, he's 6'7". You know, that size paired with Jalen Green, who's 6'4", 6'5", he can be able to guard people. Jalen Green can't guard, you know, especially with that speed, that athleticism. Him and Jalen Green, that's an athletic backcourt in itself. I think he definitely, you know, OT is something that people talk about, but I think the way he trained was NBA-like, the way he worked out with NBA players, played a lot of scrimmages with NBA players. He's just coming into for Houston. You know, he's going to be able to contribute day one. The jumper is going to look walky in year one. It's going to look
a little bit
very funky, but as long as they bring in good shooting coaches, guys that can definitely help him develop his jumper, he's gonna. And of course, he bulk up a little bit more. He's a little thin,
a little more spacing on in the NBA level.
And as long as he gets, if Jalen Green, Jabari find their jumper, the spacing will be there for them. Amon's going to be able to work well with Sengun of cuts, backdoor cuts, screens, stuff like that. I think this was definitely a minus pick for them.
I feel A's fine, dude. I mean, you look at the Rockets. What have they needed? A point guard. KPJ had to play the point guard role for them when really that's not who he is. He can play, make sure, but he's more of a two guard. He wants to get his bucket. But the size that this team's going to play with, you mentioned it, Riv, 6'7" Amon. You have the 6'5" Jalen Green. Tari Eason, 6'7", if I'm not wrong. Jabari Smith, 6'10", 6'11". Alperen Şengün, 6'11", I also believe. Cam Whitmore, getting him. We're going to talk about that pick a little bit later, but this team is starting to come together with Ime Udoka. There's gonna be a little bit more of an identity now. You looked at last year's Rockets. What was their identity? That they were a mess? I mean, that's not the identity that you necessarily want on your name. Now here, they're going to be a little bit more defensive-minded, and now they have someone who can actually initiate the offense. Jabari will now get into some better spots. Jalen will now get into some better spots. Ironically, both are saying name. Jalen Green, obviously, will get into some better spots. So I believe that this was a great pick. Obviously, the athleticism, we all know that it's there, but really the reason why this is so great is because they need that initiator on offense.
Amen Thompson is an A-plus pick, and I think this draft, based on where both the Thompson twins went back-to-back, this was a win for Overtime Elite.
That's a
for
fact,
you guys
bro.
to be hyping up these players as much as you were. And it also gave credibility to the league in the fact that, you know, NBA scouts did not care. They didn't. They drafted these guys as high as they drafted them because they believe in the skill set no matter where they came from. So I think this was an A-plus for the Rockets. They've needed a point guard for a long time. I think now this makes KPJ either expendable or a player off the bench. And I think he's always been suited for a six-man role. You have the keys. You have freedom. I think this was a great pick by Houston.
Yeah, I think the most exciting thing is we'll see some passing from the Rockets. We'll see, you know, hopefully a real offense. Bro. You know, trolling aside, though. Sengun. Yeah, facts. He was probably the only one that's a willing passer on this team before Amen got here. But I love the fit, especially with Ime. I mean, the jumper, like you mentioned, Riv, that's really going to be the thing that decides his ultimate ceiling in the league, right? Like, he's got basically everything else. He's got the size, athleticism. He can defend. He's a good passer. It's really just, is his jump shot going to be able to come along that will be able to, you know, propel him into an all-NBA type player? But I think this is a great pick for the Rockets. Now, at this point, I would stay away from James Harden. Sounds like Harden's going to return to Philly. But if I'm the Rockets, just give the keys to Amen. Amen.
I don't know which one it is.
No, it's Amen.
Amen.
I always say Amen.
I know you fucked me up.
I do.
Hello. But I would give the keys to him at this point. Don't leave the Harden shit alone. You know, I think that's just in the past. Keep this young core, keep building, but a great pick for the Rockets.
Yeah, and it's good. You know, Harden gets to stay in Philly, compete for a championship.
What?
I like that.
Compete for who?
Compete for a championship.
With Nick Nurse?
Yeah, maybe.
This is interesting.
Maybe, yeah. Let's
do
it.
I hope, and I hate this, but if Philly won the chip, I can't wait. I'm going to talk nasty. Unfortunately,
I'm making you hope for a Harden championship.
You are. I can't wait to go back.
I did my job.
Is that a win? He's going to have Harden.
It's an L because Harden won and I didn't want him to win. But it's a W because I'm going to be on a Patreon one day. And we're going to bring up that video again. I'm going to be like, remember when you were shit talking Nick Nurse and he just helped your GOAT get a chip?
All I said was we might view Nick we might view Nick Nurse similar to how we view Doc Rivers if he fails in Philly.
Well, if he gets a chip, that shit is dead in the water.
Of course, if he gets a chip, of course it's dead.
I mean, if he gets to the ECF,
honestly,
ECF
Nick Nurse has
final,
like another 10 years before he's in the Doc Rivers conversation.
Well, he's trending towards it if he fails in Philly. Number 5, the Pistons.
I'm back.
Asar Thompson. I gave this
number 3 team.
I gave this pick a C.
Ooh.
Because the Pistons need shooting.
Yeah.
They need shooting surrounded around Cade, Ivy. Asar Thompson is not the passer his brother is. Although he's a plus playmaker.
I think he's a really good passer.
But he's still not the passer Amen is.
I don't disagree.
His role in Detroit is going to be a lot off ball. In transition, he'll be really good. I think his defense will be really good.
Agreed.
But if he doesn't have a reliable enough jump shot early on, it really limits him and where he can play next to Cade and Ivy. So that is the most important thing in his fit with Detroit. How well can he shoot? I think that there were strides in his jump shot later in the OTE season. He is more developed than Amen in shooting, but that is a concern with Asar right now.
I think a C, in my opinion, is disrespectful. That just means in the fact that you believe that he just won't be a factor on offense. I think that at the minimum, he'll be able to attack the basket. No, we don't have to get crazy about this. I just think a C, if that came across rude to you, King, I'm sorry, but a C I wasn't expecting to hear a C. Just for the fact that how athletic he is, his ability to attack the basket. Yes, I understand that his jump shot is not there by any means. For it to be worse than Amen, that's saying something. So I do look at the plus side. You do have Jaden Ivey who can shoot the ball. Not great, but obviously better than him. Cade Cunningham, his jump shot hasn't been to what you are expecting him to transition from college to the NBA level, but you expect his jump shot to continue to improve. Bogdanovich is still on this team. There's players that can shoot the basketball. It's not essential that he can be this knockdown shooter. Yes, you want him to develop it where he can actually be someone that you could trust that if he's wide open, that he's going to make the jumper. But you said it perfectly, though. Transition offense will be great for Asar. I do believe that his ability to attack the basket, be athletic, just be more athletic than the defenders that he's going to be facing on the NBA level. I think that will benefit him most. And I think that you look at this Pistons team, it's a team that's going to want to run and really get out and beat other opposing teams with their speed. So I didn't give a grade. I would still give them a B. This is not a home run pick. I feel like you would have looked at it like a Jarris Walker, a Taylor Hendricks, get them more players that can impact the front court. But I do look at Asar and think that this is still a very good pick.
I'm gonna go B here. Yeah, I'm not gonna go C low, but I don't think this was an A. This shocked us. We was at the house. This definitely shocked us at the crib. Asar was getting a little bit of traction late that he could be the 5th pick. And I remember I was telling you guys last episode that Weaver said he might take a swing in this draft class. He might go for the wild card than he did with Asar. Right. I think this is interesting. Asar is the better shooter than Amen right now. He's not the playmaker he is, but he is great in transition. I think he's a little bit of a better defender than Amen, in my opinion. Jaden Ivey and Asar are going to be able to put a lot of pressure on the rim, but the spacing is going to be in question. You know, they do have Bogdanovic. You expect Cade to come back and, continue that mid-range shooting because he was a really great mid-range shooter when he was healthy. But you expect him to be a good three-point shooter when he comes back. Ivy, you expect him to tread upward, not be an elite shooter, but just somewhat of an okay shooter. With Asar, really I guess they got a guy that was just athletically gifted. They wanted to put somebody next to Cade, next to Ivy that defensively can be that guy for them on the defensive end, athletically can change the game. I mean, they have Duren, Ivy, and Asar in the starting 5. That's an extreme, athletic, fun, exciting starting 5, along with Cade and Bogdanovic. I think for the future, this is really good. I think this is a good reach. That's why I gave it a B. But the spacing is going to be in question, of course. But I think with Monty Williams there, he can be able to develop these guys. And I trust the organization.
Yeah, Jaden Ivey shot 34% last year on 5 or 6 attempts. So, I mean, it's not Cade, who is in like the 30s, 29%, something like that around his rookie year. But I see where you're coming from, Joel. Even when they got drafted, we said the fit is a little bit strange there. But I do think that the Pistons, although they have a fun core, right? Cade, Ivy, Duren, I still think they're in position to just like take the most talented player available. And, you can make the argument for a lot of guys here, but I still do think the potential, we talked about it with Amen too. all the physical tools are there, right? Like everything you would want in a player, especially in the modern NBA and a wing. I mean, Asar is giving that to you. He has the side, the athleticism, basically all the shit. They're basically the same player, just with different kind of like elite type traits, right? So I think the Pistons are still in position just to take, acquire talent and kind of figure shit out as they go, especially now that they have Monty. It sounds like they have, a clear direction and leader there. Maybe you make the argument for Taylor Hendricks, who could shoot. It does feel like a more natural fit with the guys they already have there. But I don't mind, swinging for the moon and just trying to get the best player available at their selection. I'd probably go with a B minus.
Asar Thompson, part of the reason why I was lower on him than Amen, because I think when I watched their highlights, I kind of was leaning Asar a little bit. Asar Thompson versus pro teams when they played before the OTE season and in the preseason, they faced, I think, 6 pro club teams. Asar really struggled in those games. Amen Thompson remained steady, the same player. So I think I can trust in his leap to the NBA a little bit more. Where Asar was struggling against pro level competition, which is where at the NBA level, with these fit issues, that's where I don't love this pick. Okay. I think Taylor Hendricks is a better fit. You guys know I would have went with Jarris Walker. I think Jarris Walker would have been the perfect.
Makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, Jarris would have been the perfect connector. Asar Thompson, he was kind of a player that I feel like needed more freedom within an offense.
Understand.
And not be restricted by 2 players in front of him that will have the ball far more than him.
I just think that with the lack of success that Detroit has seen, I think, yes, you're assuming that Ivy and Cade will have the ball significantly more, but with the lack of winning that has happened in Detroit, I wouldn't be surprised if they just decided to let him have a little bit more freedom, but I definitely understand that drawback given, of course. Ivy's got the year on him and Cade has 2 years, and that's the number 1 pick. You're expecting to be your franchise leader.
I think Cade and Ivy are going to make the game easier for him. I think being as good of playmakers as they both are, we saw Ivy improve month by month.
All 3 of them are really good passers.
I think those 2 can be able to make the game easier for them, be able to help them in transition, help them on backdoor cuts. Asar can learn a lot playing off ball, but yeah, he didn't look great in those pro league games. Amen looked more confident as a ball handler, a playmaker, and stuff like that. This was a pick that was like the swing for the fences pick. Like Detroit was just like, fuck it. Let's just go best talent. Let's go upside and figure it out. We just paid Monty to do what we expect him to do. Why not? So yeah, that's why I didn't go too high. But I understand C once you explain it.
Number 6, Magic, Anthony Black.
Here we go.
I went with the B minus. You guys know that I'm a huge Anthony Black
B minus.
fan. If I'm doing it just from my mind, I'm giving this an A+. Because Anthony Black is my guy.
And you've had him mocked to Orlando in the 2 mocks.
For sure. I've had him as high as 4 to the Rockets.
So I'm really surprised.
Anthony Black is my guy. The only reason why I gave this a B minus is because Anthony Black is one of those players that I just wish went to a team where he had freedom, man.
Don't do this.
Where he went to the Jazz, he could just run his own show. Orlando has a lot of talent. Franz Wagner, Paolo, Markelle Fultz is good, Wendell Carter, and I'm assuming Black will start. There is no spacing within that lineup. And that's what kind of derails me a little bit with this pick. I feel like they had to pick Anthony Black, though, because I think Jalen Suggs, this pick probably solidifies that they're not really thinking much about him when it comes to their future moves. Cole Anthony is expendable.
Markelle Fultz doesn't enter your mind of also being one of those guys that they're okay with leaving?
Him, I'll say it in a minute.
I don't think so, but what's your hot take first?
I think Fultz is expendable.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I feel like similar skill sets, the idea that Markelle's jumper really might never get back to what people expected it to be, having to pay him a little bit more money than you may want to if you're the Orlando Magic.
I think they picked Black and Jet, and we'll get to Jet in a little bit, which was a
that's the one where if you gave a B minus, I got you.
They're planning them to be the backcourt of the future.
So I didn't know that Markelle Fultz is on an expiring deal.
Yeah.
So his contract expires after this year. I'm pretty sure it does. I understand the Black pick much more. I'll move it up. I'll bump it up. It's going to an A now.
Okay.
Because now
wasn't an A in your mind already. Yeah.
Because I'm assuming it's Fultz and Black, and it's the backcourt they're kind of sticking with. If they're gonna give Anthony Black the show,
we don't know.
I mean, Anthony Black is a beast. This
He's gonna be
guy
good.
is going to be amazing.
I agree.
The same doubts that people have about Anthony Black. I remember the talk about Josh Giddey pre-draft. And now people have this revisionist history like they knew Josh Giddey was going to be good. Everybody was low on Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
When OKC selected him over Jonathan Kuminga, the draft world went into a flurry. They couldn't believe it. And Anthony Black.
No, he's saying Franz.
No, Josh Giddey. He was pick number 6.
Oh, yeah.
He was 6?
Kuminga was 7.
He was later. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Anthony Black is going to be like his fellow 6th overall pick in Josh Giddey. And he's going to be somebody that's going to show a lot of flashes.
Okay.
Anthony Black, he's that
really
good. I just made this grade low because I don't like the Fulton Black backcourt. I want Anthony Black to be the point guard. I don't want him to play shooting guard. I want him to be the primary ball handler in whatever offense he's in.
I could just add, I also believe in Anthony Black. You know, he likes to take the honorary Anthony Black sign. He can have it. That's his guy. Fine. Whatever.
I've been telling you about him for years.
Have it. Listen, I'm giving it to you. You can take it. But I do believe, take it hard. I do. I do believe in Anthony Black's ability. I think in Arkansas he was held back a little bit, especially with at first sharing it with Nick Smith, and then his coach wanted him to put more pressure at the rim. He played a lot of pick and roll. He was a great distributor for them down the stretch, in the conference games, in the tournament. I don't know why Orlando Magic fans are so down on him. I think he can become a really good shooter.
Because they are so infatuated with the idea that his percentages are not good.
And Fultz can't shoot either, but I think they can play off each other. I think Black can be a secondary and a primary ball handler. I think he can be both. I think he can play off Fultz as a shooter. He can actually shoot the ball. He would show his shooting when he gets to the league. I think his ability to defend is underrated. I think he's a really fucking good defender, especially off ball. He's really good at that. He fits the mold of what Orlando wants to do. 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" guys that can do a little bit of everything. And realistically, where were you going to go? You weren't going to take Grady Dick at 6. You were going to hope he was at 11. He was at 11, and you didn't even take him. Yeah. So you had no offer at 6. You got Boncaro at the 4. You got Wagner at the 3. Wendell's at the 5. Wendell's on a cheap deal, and he's a good player. You're probably not going to move him. No. So what did you need? You need more guard depth. Suggs hasn't shown you anything. Cole has shown you he's a 6 man of the year.
Hasn't shown you anything. His defense is still fire.
Suggs hasn't shown you anything. Cole has shown you he's a 6 man at best, and Fultz has been in and out of injuries for his whole career. And he still can't shoot. Great playmaker, but he can't shoot. He can put pressure on the rim. So I think Black was the obvious pick here. I mean, you could have tried log jamming at Hendricks, but I thought this was an amazing pick for them.
So here's an amazing stat about Anthony Black. Only 3 players since 2010 have had an above 20% assist rate, above 50% free throw rate, and above 20% dunk rate. That's Ben Simmons, John Wall, and Anthony Black. Those are the only 3 guys.
Good company.
That's
it is good company.
Good company if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Good company if he can stay healthy. I was listening to our friends over at the 6 Man Show. Shout out to Jonathan. Shout out to Luke. And they said a lot of facts. They had a lot of certainty before the draft with their guard position. And now that Anthony Black's in town, now it kind of fogs your idea of what is the lineup going to be. Now it's very simple. Really, it is for me at least. Anthony Black's going to be their point guard of the future. He provides you with great defensive versatility. He provides you with athleticism. He provides you with great size. Obviously, great playmaking. The dude can make some insane passes. But really what it allows you to now is a little bit more flexibility with your money situation. You understand, at least the way I see it is, Franz Wagner is going to get his bag. Paolo Boncaro is going to get his bag. Markelle Fultz is one of those guys that if I'm a Magic fan, yes, I would like him back, but if it's on a team-friendly deal. Cole Anthony, I think that he's best utilized as a 6th man. I don't know if I'm the Orlando Magic. If he wants more money than I'm willing to give him, if I'm going to bend over backwards to make Cole Anthony happy to bring him back to our squad. So for me personally, I think that Anthony Black was the only move here. They needed a guard. They had the 11th pick. That's when you go and you take the need pick. At pick 6, you take best available, and that was Anthony Black. This is an A for me.
We traded Eduardo Escobar.
It was inevitable, bro. I mean,
during the game, it's crazy.
Mid-game, they pulled him.
Get out. He wasn't in the lineup, but we traded him. Hate to see it. I know you're a big Eduardo Escobar fan, right?
Yeah.
Magic fans were not thrilled with this. You know, obviously I followed the 6 Man Show as well, and they weren't I think they were happy. I think they were fine with it. But Magic fans in general really weren't. I don't know if it's because of the upside, maybe, or lack thereof with Anthony Black. I don't know if it's the shooting or lack of shooting. He doesn't have like out of the gym athleticism. So I don't know if it's just because Anthony Black. I don't know if it's because Anthony Black just doesn't have like top 10 player in the NBA potential is the reason why Magic fans aren't excited. But what he does have, you have to be excited for. I mean, a 6'7" guard who could facilitate, who could defend, and the rest of your pieces are already there, right? You already have Paolo, you have Wendell, you have Franz. So I don't think you needed to get in here and, make this extremely risky pick where you try to get someone who's out of this world. I think Anthony Black's going to slide in and be a really solid player for them. And the Magic, even though, they had a pretty bad record this year, I thought towards the end of the season, we kind of saw their young players start to develop and start to string some wins together. And I think Anthony Black's a winning player. He's going to be able to come in and kind of contribute to that. And Magic, I think their goal this upcoming season should be try to get into a playing game. And Anthony Black, he's mature. He has the smarts. The intangibles are all there. It's just really, like we talked about with a few of these guys, really just the shooting, I think, is the biggest thing that's going to, for one, hold Magic fans back, and two, probably ultimately hold, his ceiling in the NBA.
And he's fun. I was looking at his TikTok page. He has a lot of TikTok dances.
I saw Cole Anthony tweet that.
That's the type of extrovert they need in the locker room.
Is that what they need?
Yeah, okay. I think it is. Anthony Black is really cool.
Yeah, especially if Cole Anthony's going to be leaving.
They got big guys now. Anthony Black 6'7", Paolo 6'10", Franz. I mean, they have a really big lineup.
Number 7 was the Pacers pick, but they traded it to the Wizards, and the Wizards selected Bilal Coulibaly. I'm giving this pick a D.
So this is
the Wizards. This is the Wizards. This is tough.
Yeah.
I say it's tough for me. You know what? You can explain your D grade. I mean, people are.
Why you give him a D?
Well, this is a D because Bilal is good. He right now is a 3-and-D player. Last episode, I gave the stat on how he was virtually invisible in a half-court setting when he played for the Metropolitans in France. This was a D because the Wizards, I feel like they needed kind of a swing pick. I think they needed they need more talent injection. And you can say Bilal is that, but I would have either rathered a player with more upside than him or someone that is ready to win now, like a Jarris Walker who can be the perfect connector. I thought Bilal at 7 was a reach. We knew that he was going to be selected high because there was a lot of reports trending this way, but the Wizards selecting him really surprised me.
I feel like it's inevitable that we have to mention Cam Whitmore obviously falling to pick 20. And I say that for the fact of, you mentioned they needed a swing pick there. With Cam Whitmore falling all the way, I get it. Everyone is worried about his knee cartilage, did not impress in interviews or in workouts. But if you're the Wizards and you're understanding that we're in the business of collecting young talent and trying to build something here, take the flyer on Cam Whitmore, especially after you just blew up your team with trading your 2 best players. But again, I understand where you're coming from. I wouldn't go D range. I probably would go C+ for the sole fact of, obviously he has the upside to be a great to an elite defender, has the size, has the athleticism. The concern is offense, but he is great at attacking the rim. The shooting simply is not there. But I feel like Cam Whitmore, I get it, that you can be worried all you want, but the talent is there. You have a Jarris Walker. That probably would have been my selection for the playmaking that he also provides, allows the others around him to be better, can also space the floor, versatile defender. So I'm going C+ if I'm being kind.
I'll give this a B. I don't know about
You're a Bilal guy?
I understand. They're building an identity.
Just because they traded up one spot, I feel like they could have stayed at 8 and still got him.
Unless they thought Indiana was going to select him.
Do you think that would have happened?
Do your job.
It makes no sense to trade up if you think Indiana's selecting him.
Facts.
I gave it a B because I feel like they're building an identity, and what Bilal brings you is a defensive edge. I mean, this is a new, or this is Jordan Poole. Exactly. This is a new. This is my point. Okay. You have Jordan Poole at the 1, right? Now you're bringing in Bilal. You need to build a kind of. I'm not saying build a run. Like, I'm not saying Jordan Poole. You build. He's the number one.
You need a team around him, bro.
You need to build some type of defensive identity. If you have Jordan Poole in your lineup, you're gonna need some type of
team
defense
around Tyus Jones. Let's be real.
Anyways, he's not starting. But I'll give it a B because I think Bilal, what he brings is defensive identity. You need something like that. You already have Denny Avdia there, who's a really good defender. Corey Kispert's a shooter. You pretty much want to rid yourself of these other guys. You already did on this team. You have to bring in some type of guy who can come in. He knows what his role is. Like you said, 3-and-D. He can come in. He defends at a high level. He can hit the three ball. He can develop slowly. I mean, Poole is going to be able to set him up for open shots. Tyus Jones is going to be able to set him up for open shots. He doesn't have to do too much. He just has to defend, show that high level. And I think, you could have went Jarris here. I think Jarris would have been cool, I guess. You could have went Taylor Hendricks here. Taylor Hendricks would have been cool, I guess. But I think Bilal, with that defensive upside he has, I'm not mad at the pick, so I would have gave it a B probably.
Okay. And I'm shocked you didn't mention he's only 18 years old. So he definitely fits your timeline of young prospects. But I think most importantly,
see what we're doing here.
That was messy.
I think most importantly, I love this. I love the landing spot for him because the Wizards are going to be bad for a few years, right? And Bilal, he needs time to develop. Only 18 years old, coming over France. I mean, I think it would have been not ideal for him to go to a place that need him to contribute day one, because day one he'll probably come in and be a plus defender, but his offensive game needs a ton of work. And the Wizards made the right move a couple of weeks ago, starting this rebuild by trading Bradley Beal, Chris Paul, Porzingis, and Bilal's going to be able to come in and just develop slowly. And I think that's what he's going to need, because the worst thing you could do is get a raw prospect like Bilal, at least offensively that is, and try to rush him into become something they're not ready for. I think that's what you saw with the Warriors and guys like James Wiseman, although injuries and stuff too. But the fact that he went to the Wizards, who could very easily have number one pick overall next year, there's not going to be rumors a year from now that they're trying to trade off him to try to get someone that can contend. So I think this is a great spot for him. I'd probably give it a C+, maybe a B-, just because it still feels like kind of a boomer bust, because offensively you have no idea what he's going to be.
Number 8, the Pacers. Jarris Walker, A+.
This is an A+.
It's an A+. He's the perfect connector. Miles Turner, Jarris, Hield, Mathurin, Tyrese.
Taylor Hendricks is right there.
The Pacers are pushing for that playoff spot next year. They
Tyrese.
are. And Tyrese
Reese.
We know he's gonna have a breakout season. Oh, yeah,
NBA?
For sure. He's definitely gonna be in contention. I'm talking about 25 and 10 from Tyrese next year. That's how much he's jumping next year.
25 and 10 is getting in the playoffs.
No, he's gonna reach Trae Young's statistics finally.
and I saw that poll you put on Instagram. Very split.
What was it?
Yeah, Loki was.
It was
Loki
split.
was. Nah, but the
Tyrese.
comments for Trey were like, "What are we doing?"
I did
here?
a poll and Trey had 70% of the votes.
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't split.
Yeah, no, he destroyed.
Doesn't he
Tyrese.
have Hawks fan in his one of his teams? That's why
yes,
they rock with him.
one of your
The
teams.
comments.
Why don't you go look at the pick aside comments to see what they're voting for?
Right now, their vote is really split. I say Trae Young has more votes. I'm not saying it's not a hot opinion to say Tyrese is over Trae. It definitely is. But he's going to prove me right. And Jarris Walker is the next step in this Pacers rebuild. I'm going to talk about what they did later on in the draft that I also loved. But Jarris Walker, perfect connector. I can't ask for more.
Nah, this shit isn't split, bro.
It is
close.
It's maybe like 70-30 at best.
He capped.
Yeah, no, he capped.
It's like 60-40.
Yeah, A- pick. You said all the good things. Jarris comes in, fits immediately for what they want to do as a connector, as a defensive player. Him and Miles Turner are going to be great. Mathurin, year 2 is going to be really good. Tyrese is going to show out this year. This is definitely a great pick for what they want to do. I think they want to compete now. I think they want to definitely hunt for that playoff play-in spot, and Jarris is the perfect pick for it. So not much to say about it. I'll give it an A+, of course, because this was just a great pick for them.
Of course, this is an A pick for me. The Pacers needed another guy, especially in that front court, that provided defensive versatility, that can space the floor a little bit. And that's exactly Jarris Walker, but also an underappreciated part of his game. And I say underappreciated, but everyone who watches and knows about Jarris Walker understands that he's a very good playmaker. And for a big man, he knows the right pass. He knows the right play. Great decision maker. So for me, yes, you guys hit all the points. They needed that extra size in the front court. This is an A pick.
Yeah, and his build is nuts. 6'7", 250 with a 7'3" wingspan.
No, he's a grown man.
Gave you a block and a half in college. The shooting, 35% from three. His free throw shooting, oddly enough, usually if you're a good three-point shooter, a good free throw shooter, was like 66%.
Rav was telling me this, dude. What is it with college players and them not being able to hit their free throws?
Just very odd.
Anthony Black, 70% from the free throw line too.
It's weird, but
the rims are kind of different in college.
Are they?
Ball, right?
Is it the ball or is it the rim?
I think it's the rim.
How sure are you?
I mean, the
because
ball
of
is different
because of the sound of it. You can hear it.
Yeah, it's like something
that's
annoyingly loud.
Y'all want to know something cool?
I do.
But I also just think that these players are underdeveloped at shooting. That's really the biggest thing.
Talk to me.
Poole shot only 80% in
College, 80% from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Like,
What the hell?
I don't know. It's just.
Well, I mean, years like that makes sense going from 80 to 90%.
That's a
Going
10
from like,
jump.
I know, going from like, if you're like a below average free throw shooter, I think that's more impressive going from below average to really good than going from good to great.
80 to 90 is
Jared-
nuts.
90% is insane. It
Jarris
is.
Walker is built like a Greek god.
Okay.
He's a
No, you're spinning.
dream.
I was going to go that
He's
far,
a
but
dream.
He's
He's a grown man.
6'7",
He's a grown man.
250.
He can play the Hulk.
Yeah. He's gonna be able to switch on defense. The Pacers, they have a fun young
And
lineup.
this is also their grade gets boosted for the fact that they traded back a spot and
Yeah,
still
got
got
two
a
future
player
seconds.
that's going to fit them perfectly.
Number 9, the Jazz, Taylor Hendricks.
So I actually wanted to wait to read this news, but apparently there's a rumor that the Pistons had multiple offers for the number 5 pick. One of them, which was the package from the Jazz, which was pick 9, pick 28, a 2025 first.
They said no.
And they said no.
They wanted their guy bad.
They said, I saw our
should have said
bust.
yeah.
Yeah, you would have liked him to go to Utah. I know. I know.
Utah, there was reports that Utah said that they view this as a 4-player draft, then Anthony Black. That was a report.
Well, at 5, they probably would have gone Anthony.
Yeah. You just shit on your guy.
Who's my guy?
Well,
Anthony Black.
he's at least part of the draft.
No, he said it's a
that's
4-player draft
compliment
and Anthony
You're
Black.
basically saying after Anthony Black, there's nothing.
Oh, they're fucking dumb.
That's what the Jazz. That's what a report said about the Jazz.
Cap.
Yeah, because Taylor Hendricks is on the squad now in the movie.
Hendricks is.
But that's why the Jazz wanted to trade up, though. They wanted to get Anthony Black. That's who
At
they were going to go.
5?
That's who they
Yeah.
were going to go.
Think so?
Yes,
I mean,
100%.
Black went to what, 6? Like,
He would have been. Oh man, he would have been so.
So
good.
why did they only just trade for 5? Detroit was never taking Black.
No,
Well, they're trying to get ahead of the Magic.
they were.
But why didn't you just trade with the Magic?
Because the
Magic
Magic
wanted
probably
Black.
would have
The Magic
taken
wanted Black.
All-Star.
I think the Magic would have taken 9, 28, and some change.
Maybe.
That's Cap.
Hendricks is your guy, right?
He is my guy, and I was
gonna give him an A+.
I'll give him an A minus. I was very happy with it. Of course, now you have him playing the 4. It's not there's no need for him at all to play the 5 now. I feel like that was best suited for him, which is another reason why I like the Indiana fit for Taylor. Because of course, Miles Turner would have been there. He's able to play the 4, a little versatile. He can defend 2 to 4. But really, you have Walker Kessler there. Now you have Taylor Hendricks in that front court. Lauri Markkanen. You guys have, I mean, just the size that's there.
Oozing over Lauri.
Who you were,
Yeah, man.
yeah, dude. Lauri's like that, and of course, his ability to space the floor. Shot 41% from 3. I reiterate it every single time that we talk about it. The he's lights out from 3. I am expecting and hoping that it translates to the NBA. Utah had a very nice draft. Of course, we're going to talk about it a little later, but of course, Keontae, Bryce Sensabaugh. They did an amazing job, and of course, Taylor Hendricks started the night off right for them. So I'm going to give them an A minus.
I thought about it. At first, I was a little shocked. I give him an A.
Who would they have taken if not?
I just said A.
Well, you said shocked.
At first, yes, of course.
But
I
why?
don't remember.
Why were you shocked?
I didn't. They weren't. I thought they would go somewhere else. Now I'm
Oh.
giving them an A. Does it matter?
No,
giving
I'm
them an A.
curious because
I
you said you were
don't
shocked. I
remember.
just need an answer. Really.
I don't
Like,
remember.
what are we doing here? How can you
No,
be shocked? You don't have an answer.
No, I was shocked that day. Like I
Oh,
was
yesterday, I
shocked
got
last
it.
night. Yeah, I
Oh,
was shocked
awesome.
when they picked Taylor.
Sorry,
Hendricks.
bro. I'm on your body.
Remember when you told me? I was like, oh, and I was thinking about it.
I didn't tell you. I try to keep it a surprise.
Oh, clown. Yeah, I'll give it an A though. I think the
One of
size,
those,
the size coming in. I see what Utah is building here. Guys that are big, 6'11", 6'10", 7 feet tall, can space the floor, do multiple things outside of Walker Kessler spacing the floor, but can do multiple things in that wing guard spot. They had an amazing draft, but Hendricks fits perfectly. He's a good defender. Him with Kessler is going to be really good because you got Kessler that can defend the rim. He's one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. And you got Lauri, who can just move around in all types of ways. You can get him inside the pocket, outside, get him in the pin downs, do all this type of shit. He's just everywhere in the court.
He's a man.
And then you got Hendricks. And I think having a point guard there is going to be really good for them when they figure that out. But I think for the most part, this was a great spot for him. So I give him an A.
Last year, the Jazz played winning basketball before they decided to tank. And a big part of that was their front court lineup of Vando, Markkanen, and Walker Kessler. When I thought about this pick as just a replacement for Vando on their front court, it made me like the pick more. I gave this pick an A. Taylor Hendricks, Lauri, Walker Kessler, all good, versatile defenders. And Hendricks offers something Vando doesn't. He can shoot.
He can shoot.
So if he shoots how you think he can translate, then this is a great pick. And they can go back to playing winning basketball if their other young talent develops.
Yeah, I feel like he has a very safe floor. Like, I feel like Taylor Hendricks' floor is just like a glue 3-and-D type guy. And being 6'8", 6'9", they could get really creative with their lineups. Like, he could maybe steal some small ball center, some center minutes for the Jazz. I mean, shot 40% from 3 in college. And the fact that he's 6'9", he could guard wings and not gonna be able to guard all the centers, but he's gonna be able to guard some of the centers, 7'2" wingspan too. So I feel like this was a very safe pick for the Jazz, but you see the upside there because there's not gonna be many guys. I mean, everyone in the NBA is looking for guys that are 6'9" and a two-way ability, who could defend, who could shoot. So I would give this pick an A for the Jazz.
At pick number 10, it belonged to the Mavericks, but the Mavericks traded with OKC, and OKC gave them pick number 12, and the Mavericks offloaded Davis Bertans' contract.
Beautiful.
And at 10, the Thunder selected Cason Wallace.
Grant Williams, you were a Maverick.
The Mavericks pissed me off.
Yeah.
They made
a lot
too
of
many good moves.
Okay, I give this C+.
You were
Whoa.
we were kind of indifferent about this.
Yeah, it was odd.
What would you have wanted them to take?
I don't know.
You don't like a starting lineup of Cason, SGA, Giddey, J-Dub, and Chet?
There was just the chance that Cason would have been there at 12, and you don't have to take on the contract.
I think, you know what? I think would have been cooler if they would have had SGA, Giddey, or SGA, Grady, Giddey, J-Dub, and Chet. I feel like putting somebody there would have been like that can space the floor really well. Like, I'm not mad at the case and why. It was just confusing. I feel like with Isaiah Joe there, you know, they got Dortz, they got J-Dub. They just have a lot of guys that kind of are big at the guard position and play a little bit of the forward. You know, Cason, he still brings the intensity. He brings that defensive edge, so he'll fit right into what OKC needs. But I was just confused by the pick. I feel like they have an abundance of guards. You know, they could have looked for maybe some front court depth a little bit, especially if they're potentially going to move off of Dortz. I don't know if they are for sure, but I think eventually they'll be able to do that. They could have looked on some front court depth, but they got SGA, they got Giddey, they got Isaiah Joe. They still got Trey Mann there. They got a couple guys there, but I'll probably give this a C+, maybe B-. You know, I'm not mad at the pick. I was just a little bit confused.
They don't have a backup point guard, though.
They don't.
And I think Cason now could become that.
So is Giddey your point guard?
I don't.
No.
Giddey's a point guard.
I'm saying, is Giddey your point guard if you're the Thunder? He's not.
They play multiple point guards. That's the thing.
Okay. And I feel like whether what happens with Luguentz Dortz, the Dorsey Chamber, don't know if he's going to be on the team in the future, but now Cason Wallace allows you that flexibility of not needing to desperately bring him back because you understand Cason is or can be an elite perimeter defender. And now you mentioned it. You don't know if this move needed to be made, especially to bringing on that contract. I understand where you're coming from, but Thunder really, who are they paying high money? They were going to have to pay SGA a lot of money very soon because he, of course, first team All NBA. He's deserved and earned that money. But other than that, they're not allocating any funds to almost anybody else. So they're going to take his contract this year. They're going to take his contract next year. And then he's gone. So I think that this was a smart move for them. You trade up 2 spots. Would you have liked this pick better, Riv, if it was Derek Lively?
No.
So then I feel like if that's the case, then I'm firm here with a B+ because I believe in Cason's talent. I believe in them honing in on this mindset of being a defensive-minded team. They were one of the better defensive teams last year. You add Cason to that only enhances that even more. Now Chet Holmgren's going to get back into this roster. They were one of the few teams that had the luxury of doing whatever they wanted because their first-round pick was not just Cason Wallace last night. It was also Chet Holmgren. So, Cason, you could not go wrong. You add the defensive prowess of Cason Wallace to this team, who also is not a slouch offensively, can play make, can get his bucket if need be. I think this was a very good pick for Oklahoma City, and I understand the idea of bringing in Davis because they're not paying anybody else.
Yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world either that he has to play with SGA and Giddey. I think he's be able to play off them, catch and shoot type of player. I think his defense, point of attack defense, is probably going to be his number one trait coming in. It does make things interesting with Lou Dort, but I think Lou Dort's going to have value on the trade market. He's not making any money. He could obviously one of the best defenders in the league. He could shoot. So I think at Cason at 10 at least, you make a good point that they're not paying anyone. So the Bertans contract isn't the end of the world. But OKC also just has so many like staples of their team, right? Like SGA's locked in, Giddey's locked in, Chet's locked in. So it would have been really hard for them to take anyone here who would have had a huge impact, at least year one. So obviously Kaysen was their guy. He traded up 2 spots to get him. I would probably give it a C+, B-.
I would pick Grady Dick.
That fits probably better just because he's the obviously better shooter out of him and Kaysen. But he's not the defender.
Once again, I'm not mad.
Because if Kaysen's able to, improve his jumper, now you're going to have a great defender. You're a 3-and-D guy.
Kaysen's not a bad shooter, though. He's not Grady.
He was like 34, 35%.
Yeah, facts, 35.
Well, before he got a back injury in college, which was January 10th, he was shooting 40% from 3.
There you go.
Kaysen's like that. Yep. That's my guy.
Number 11, Jet Howard to the Magic. I gave this
they were not
rated
happy
D.
about that.
D.
This is a D just because Jordan Hawkins is a better shooter. Grady Dick is a better shooter.
Easy.
And they took the worst shooter of the 2 best shooters.
And he's not a good defender. Yeah, nah, this one hurt. I was definitely expecting the Magic to make a more safe pick here. They reached here. They went upside and really.
I don't even know if it's. I think Grady has more upside than Jet
I don't
Howard.
disagree.
I think he does a lot of good things on the basketball court, and his ability to move without the ball, make connecting passes off the short roll, like he can shoot the ball. So I think he would have been much better because he's not like him and Jet are like. It's not like Jet's an elite defender and Grady's not like
Jet's not a good defender.
Like the defensive part isn't a thing, and Grady Dick is a much better offensive player. So this one was a little bit odd for me. I definitely go D+, maybe C, because Jet is. I'm not gonna disrespect Jet. Can shoot.
Yeah, he's still a good shooter.
He can knock that shit down. But I feel like Grady, Hawkins, much better players. I would have probably swung for them. If you was gonna go pure shooter, Hawkins. If you was gonna go all around shooter, Grady Dick. I feel like Jet was the worst out there.
I feel like if there's ever a time for me to give a horrendous grade, it'd be this one.
F?
But I know, I mean,
F
like
is...
the D, the C-, it would be this one because this one was the most shocking one to me personally. You had Grady right there. That's what all the expectations were. Grady Dick was going to be at 11. The Magic and Magic fans were going to rejoice. They were going to have everything they wanted. Suggs, Dick together. Oh my God, it'd be amazing. Jalen Suggs and Grady Dick, bro.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Yeah.
But even Jordan Hawkins was right there. I feel like he even still would have been a better fit, a safer fit. And that's what the Magic need right now. They need someone that is safe. Jet isn't that.
Katie's in low.
No, he's going crazy. He's going crazy. Yeah.
Arguing his playoff drop.
Yeah, he's going crazy. He's violating.
Yeah,
who's going crazy?
KD is going crazy.
On low?
Yeah, but just I mean, KD, KD, he doesn't care. He's gonna do his thing.
That's actually funny. Hold on. Pause for a second.
All good, man. I'll just finish while you look it up, while you look at it. Yes, Jet Howard by no means is a bad shooter. They addressed their need, which is why I don't feel like I want to venture into F. If they would have drafted another just best talent, then maybe, and of course, and it didn't address any of the shooting, then maybe we'd start to have some conversations. But Jet Howard obviously is a great shooter. I believe he shot 38% from 3, can catch and shoot off the dribble. I mean, this guy can really shoot the basketball, but he doesn't play that well defense. And it'll get to a point with the Magic. If you're not playing defense and it's very easy in the NBA nowadays to get played off the court if you're a defensive liability. And that would be the fear with Jet. But of course, he has the athleticism. The hope is that he can become a good defender. But for that, I feel like I'm just going to stick to C- because they addressed the need. It was not the pick that I would have gone for. It wasn't the obvious pick, but it did address the need, and I understand.
Yeah, that's why I feel like a D or even an F would be a little bit too rude. It's not like Jet is a nobody, right? He's going to come in. He's going to be a great shooter. He's got a size where he's 6'8", I want to say. Yeah. Right? Like he's got the size,
Great
and
size.
Maybe he's 2-3 inches taller than Grady Dick. Maybe that's what the Magic. I mean, the Magic have a fetish for just big guys. I mean, their entire line. But we talk about Anthony Black, who's 6'7". They just want the bigger of the two, maybe. And obviously, Dick is the better shooter, but maybe the 2-inch advantage.
Dick from Kansas.
No, Dick is gonna stroke it in the league.
maybe there's like minimal height advantage, takes over because it's not like either of them are great defenders. I just think
6'8" strokers.
I think the issue is just who was on the board. Like when you had Ken Whitmore on the board, who obviously fell a lot farther than just 11, and
at
you had
11,
Grady
that would have
Dick.
been all day.
Yeah, and you had Grady Dick, who's the better shooter of the two. But the Magic over the years have made some good selections, so it's not insane to
outside of Suggs, I guess.
Yeah, but Franz was solid. Paulo, obviously, number 1 pick, but still.
It's the second pick that always does well for the Magic.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Suggs was solid
at the
first.
time was not a bad pick.
Yeah,
He
everyone
just hit
was
the game winner.
Exactly.
Be honest, you thought it was a bad pick.
At the time, it
Yeah,
was.
at the time it was. Then after overtime,
But I remember that the Magic Twitter clowned me for saying that his comp is Eric Bledsoe. He might not even get to that.
Respect him, man. He's a great defender.
He's Alfred Payne 2.0.
His 3-point percentage went down, but his field goal percentage went up. Hey,
he has time. He
does have time.
His clock's ticking though. For Orlando.
Number 12, Mavericks, Derek Lively the second. I
Great
gave
pick.
this a B.
Okay.
Because centers take time to develop. He probably won't be amazing day one unless he's Walker Kessler, which maybe he is, right?
Yeah.
But
John's having a
Derek
stroke
Lively,
somewhere.
Derek Lively is an amazing fit for Dallas. They can finally stop running out Dwight Powell and JaVale McGee starting lineups. Derek Lively fits a need. I love this pick, and the Mavericks all around had a great draft night.
I give it a B plus because, like you said, centers and Derek Lively in college, he came along a little late to the party. He started to figure it out a little bit late to the party. He wasn't even the best player on his team as a big. It was Flip. Flip was
he was him.
nice, but as a defensive rim protector, he was pretty good. I want to say, like, in general though, Dallas did a great job of going young for their front court depth. Definitely going young, getting defensive-minded bigs for them. Lively here was a really good pick for me. We had Lively going mocked to Dallas for like a couple months now, so we knew
they were able to trade back. And
we knew this was going to be their pick. They needed somebody who can bring that type of rim defense, who can deter shots like him. So B plus for them for me.
I feel like B plus is fine here. Of course, I think that Derek Lively, the idea was that the Mavericks were always going to be the team that he'd went to. OKC trading up, that idea came into my head of, hey, maybe that they're going to be the ones to take Lively off the board. But the Mavericks were able to trade back, get Bertans off their contract, off their payroll, and still bringing the guy that we were all expecting to go, bringing the guy that we were expecting them to draft. And with the idea that most likely Christian Wood will not be on this team, you can't have JaVale McGee in this system be your lone center to rely on. And of course, you have Max Kleber as a forward in that front court also, but that's not someone that really is, you're banking on him to be your primary rim protector. That's going to be Derek Lively now. So I'm fine with that. I think a B plus, especially trading back and being able to still get your guy. That's it for me.
If you bring the Bertans deal into it and being able to, have the cap flexibility there, I mean, that probably bumps it from a B to A because
you're not crazy.
This Mavericks team they still need pieces, right? Like Lively comes in. I think this is a great fit. I mean, he's not someone who's going to take away any touches from Luka or Kyrie. He averaged 3.5 shots per game in college. So like he's someone who's going to play defense. He's going to rebound. And this is what they needed, right? I think they've really been missing, obviously, defensively with Kyrie and Luka. There's really
send it in while we're in the
what the
sends
the
No,
spaces.
I did it more so for myself to save it for later.
Oh,
you're gonna hear
What
that.
he said?
can you replay his spaces?
Yeah.
Oh,
They're recording it.
Can we listen to it real quick?
No, not right now. Let's just do it after the show.
I don't know why he.
Kevin Durant is in the
he's
spaces
in
with
the
Lowe.
space. Yes, he's in the.
Is there a lot of people in it? Did you see how many?
There's
the
people?
over
title is Kevin
12,000.
Durant is not top 5. That's hilarious.
Oh, nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of talent in the league.
No, this is insane. And Lowe is real for bringing in Swiper too.
Them. But yeah, no, great pick by the Mavs.
Swiper's lit. He's like kind of brought
Right,
Swiper under his
He
ring.
might be in it. He brought Swiper.
Little both. Like that when it comes to the spaces, anytime Lowe has it, he
Ah.
respects Swiper a lot.
It might be cooking Katie right now.
They probably are.
Wow.
I would have got out of there.
Unless
Twitter's
KD's
funny,
going
man.
crazy.
No,
I heard KD's
see, but
going
that's the
bug.
thing, bro. It depends because a lot of people they like to say, "Hey, but if you ever met face to face with him, would you say the same thing?" So I do wonder if they're trying to keep that same.
Lowe
energy.
recently had a take about KD.
I know, I heard it.
Yeah.
He went nuts on like, why do we give him the pass? All this, that, and the third. Does not attack the rim at all in the playoffs. I mean, the numbers do back that up, but do I blame Kevin for defending his honor? Not really.
He was upset because everybody always has KD as like one of their best players in the league.
Yeah,
like
top
the media.
five. Like, but Luka has to do A, B, C, D. Anthony Davis has to average 25 while still being the best defensive player. Like, Lowe was making some. I'm not going to say that I was brushing it off.
No, it was a
He
good take.
making good
I
points.
thought it was a good take.
Kevin Durant is allowed to be upset though.
No, it was a good take.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see what
Kevin's
Durant's
saying,
rebuttal
I
is.
could not agree more.
The actual player. That's what
This
I
is
want.
one of the
Well,
few
I
times where I wish we could just be like,
I
let's
went
tune
to the
in.
Discord and somebody said based off KD's criteria, Jason Tatum's top 5. So he said something.
I like that criteria.
that fall aligns with I don't know. We'll see though.
Okay, so Derek Lively went over that.
Yep.
Raptors 13, Grady Dick.
Great pick.
I'm gonna be honest. I gave this a C.
Wow.
Dick to Toronto.
Because I was expecting them to draft a lead guard. Fred VanVleet's now gone. I understand the pick because this is possibly an OG Anunoby replacement. And you could argue he's the best player available on the board. But I would have thought they would have went more with the route of a Kobe Buffkin or maybe a Keontae George and swung for the fences. Grady Dick's a solid pick. It wasn't a pick that moved me where I went like, whoa, this is really good. I was just like, okay, I understand it. Not completely, but I see where they're going.
For me, I'm sorry.
Oh, man, I'll get bro.
I thought they was going to go Jalen Hood here. I thought this was going to be the one where Jalen Hood drops down, be the point guard. But the more I got thought about it, I think Toronto's retooling. I don't think they're fully rebuilding, and that's why I'm giving this pick an A. Because if they are, in my opinion, because I do think they're retooling.
So Fred's coming back?
No, I don't think he's coming back. I think they're retooling. I think they're moving a piece or two here. But if they are and they still want to contend, I think Grady Dick is the perfect guy that kind of fits the – if you want to rebuild, he's still a good pick. If you want to contend, he's still a good pick because he can play within each role. He can be an off-ball player. He can space the floor. He can be a solid off-ball defender. He can be good in the pick and roll. He can be a good point guard. I mean, not point guard. He can be a good playmaker. If you're rebuilding, he still brings that spacing, brings the off-ball action. He still does a lot of good things. So I think he fits both timelines. And if they are retooling, this was still a great pick. So that's why I gave it an A-.
A lot of good points. I'm going to go B+ here. Staying at 13, still being able to get their guy. I'm with you, though. I think point guard probably was the need here. Jalen Hood-Schifino was right there. That was the expectation. But, of course, they ended up passing on. Getting Grady, I don't think they were expecting Grady to be there at 13. Brings you some shooting, some reliable shooting to the team that I don't know if the Toronto Raptors necessarily have. I mean, Fred VanVleet had been that consistent guy for them. But, of course, Fred was the most inefficient that he's probably been in the last couple of years. Wasn't his normal self. Don't know if Fred will be on the team next year. I don't know if he's not a bad three-point shooter. Gary Trent, a little streaky for maybe the Toronto Raptors liking, but of course he's more he's still a very solid three-point shooter in my eyes. But other than that, I don't look at them as this prolific three-point shooting team. Now you bring Grady to that, of course. Now you get an A+ shooter. You mentioned it, Riv. Can shoot off the dribble, can shoot off the catch. Very versatile in his ability to scoring the basketball. So I'm going to go B+ here. I think Toronto, yes, maybe you should have leaned the point guard. Jalen Hood-Schifino would have been an A selection, but Grady by no means is a bad one. I'm going B+.
Yeah, I'm with you, Drew. I'd give it a B+. The Raptors were not a prolific shooting team. They were bottom 3 in the league in terms of three-pointers made and three-point percentage. This is one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. And I feel like his floor is really high. You know, like shooting in this NBA, of course. I mean, you can't even talk too much about it. I mean, it's everything. So I think the fact that the Raptors are going to come in like Dick, and he's going to be their best shooter day one. He's going to come in and be their best shooter on their team with or without your guy, Gary Trent here. He's going to come in and be great.
The starting lineup next year is going to be whoever's at point guard, Grady Dick, OG, Siakam, and I don't know if Pirtle comes back. He wants to be in a win-now situation.
We did not say Scotty.
Oh, my goodness. I forgot about Scotty.
Holy shit. Yeah, Siakam's rolling back to the 5. Nuts.
They traded it first for Podol, so Pirtle. Jakob.
Pirtle said that he wants to be on a win-now team.
Nuts.
Not the Raptors.
I guess we'll sign him.
We is crazy.
The Lakers?
Oh. Cooked.
AD's playing the 4.
14.
I can't wait till Dick strokes it. It'll be impressive.
14.
Dick
the Pelicans
splash!
Selected Jordan Hawkins. I gave this an A grade because Jordan Hawkins, second best shooter in the draft. The Pelicans need more shooting. This was a simple A for me.
Kobe Buffkin?
Not here. No.
Why not?
Because they needed more of a shooter.
Buffkin isn't a bad shooter.
He's not a bad shooter, but he's somebody that needs the ball in his hands.
I don't disagree with you. Yeah. Oh no.
Boy.
It's butter. It's butter.
That man worked on his game.
No, for real. No, I'm with you. You said A?
I'm with you on A too.
That's an A.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure.
I agree.
I think Alvarado will take much of the backup point guard role. I really wish they move off CJ, but it doesn't look like they will. So he would hold that spot. Jordan Hawkins is perfect to come off the bench, bring you to shooting. He's not going to ask to do too much. He just needs to get that ball off a pin down.
Trey locked and loaded in the starting lineup.
Yeah. Herb. I think
that's why I'm saying. I mean, bro, this team. P said on the last show, another team that had the luxury of being able to draft whatever they wanted here. Jordan Hawkins was a luxury for them.
Yeah, I think Hawkins is he fits seamlessly into what they want to do. They want more shooting. They need more shooting. They need more spacing around Brandon Ingram and Zion. They got it with Jordan Hawkins.
I'm with you. I'm going A here for sure. Like for all the points that I just mentioned, they're a team that had the luxury of not necessarily needing something more than the other, but they could use some 3-point shooting. And of course, arguably the best shooting basketball player in the draft was available to them at 14. So of course, Jordan Hawkins was the selection. I'm cool with it. I'm more than cool with it. That's an A for me.
You're going with Zion and Giannis. Jesus Christ,
Jonas.
Giannis. If that's going to be your front court, you're going to need some shooting. So Hawkins comes in, shot 39% from threes last year at college. And I think it was a good combination of best player available plus the need for the Pelicans, which is a 3-point shooter. I think he's a solid defender as well. Just needs to put on some weight. He's pretty skinny. What was his weight? He's like 180, I want to say. Jeez. He's 186. Yeah, 6'4", 186. Does have a 6'7" wingspan, but
it's kind of like you. Got your ass.
220. But no, I think this is a perfect combination of what the Pelicans need and how the board fell for them.
Now, before we go on to our next topic, we are going to give a word from Shady Rays. Now, kick off the new year with new gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the suns to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out the best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PICKASIDE for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. We're going to get into super chats. Then we'll get into our best picks outside of the lottery in the NBA draft. Santos goes, how does that make you win the bet? Common L from Drew.
It's not no bet. It's a debate. That's on him.
Kill moves.
I love that. Common L, common W. Shit is lit.
Just joined $15 Patreon tier. Excited for y'all's future.
We didn't read the Patreon names. We folded.
Also wanted to say I wish Cavs made more moves in the draft. They could have got another guard.
Kill moves. Come on, bro. You got Amani Bates.
He's the wing.
Steal of the draft, bro.
Top 2 player in the draft. The good thing about it is that we're now doing Patreon episodes. We're about to give them 4 extra episodes a month.
Yeah, we're spoiled.
I think that's,
we've been on our grind, man.
I'm going to drink tonight.
Tonight, you're saying?
No,
next episode, you're going to get lifted?
Yeah.
Tough.
We actually have right now 122 total patrons. We've gained I think 20 since the
for the gang.
We're going up.
Yep.
Join the Patreon, get an extra episode, man.
Oh my god.
Caden Finch. The disrespect for Clay needs to stop. When Warriors talk happens, he had one bad postseason. Riv, trust in our guy moving forward. He will be better. Also, would love to be a guest on the show to talk sports with you guys one day.
Riv hates Clay.
Career highs this season.
So you're a motivated Warrior?
Yeah.
Bro, that is the stupidest shit.
It was Anthony Lamb. Okay. It was undoubtedly.
But same tier of hatred?
No, Clay's on there. No, Anthony Lamb was by far the worst, my worst hated Warrior, bro. I hated when he got in the game. Clay got bad when the playoffs started. That's when I really started to really hate him.
I wonder how Warrior fans actually, because Frank still loves him. I wonder how Warrior fans
Frank is much nicer than me.
Yes, you're pretty ruthless. Yeah. Unless it's your guys.
Frank
unless it's Kuminga, unless it's Poole, they could suck and be terrible. It's fine.
Well, I said Poole sucks. I just don't. I'm not mean about it. You know?
Frank was about to have a stroke at AirPods getting drafted.
Gerard Williams. Love the pod. Zach Preeb goes, Douglas Wilson here. Just wanted to say I appreciate y'all, and Hawkins will be the best shooter in the NBA in 2 years.
Okay. He's a stroker.
Best in the league? As long as Curry is in the league.
And Santos once again goes, start, bench, and cut. Kevin Garnett, Chris Bosh, and Anthony Davis.
Start KG, bench AD, the cut, the Bosh.
Yeah. You're not contemplating starting.
Not even a thought in my mind, bro.
You said it perfectly. That's exactly what I go to.
Don't be
Santos, though, kills. Calm the fuck down. Santos also goes, spoil us? We've been waiting for months for these new episodes.
Yeah, we are like 8 months behind.
Oh, man. Right now, we're just giving back what we owe them.
That's
really what it is.
Facts.
Best picks outside the NBA draft lottery.
Here we go.
Now, I'll go one, then you guys can go one, and we'll just go like that. My first best pick, of course, it has to be none other than Cam Whitmore, falling all the way to pick number 20. And
He's
also
messy for that.
letting everybody know that yesterday Cam Whitmore started off the day on Mojo at $98, fell all the way to $51, went down 47%. I luckily put $110 on it. I shorted his position, which means I thought the price was going to go down, and my payout was $171.12, a plus 55% return on going short on Cam Whitmore.
You absolutely came up. You came up. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my Lake show.
Here we go.
Jalen Hood-Schifino at 17. I would be lying if I didn't want Cam Whitmore for the fact that he fell to all the way to 17. The glitz, the glamour. I fell into it. I was all in. And then we took Jalen Hood-Schifino, and I still wasn't upset because he fits our needs. And people may be upset because he's not that great of a shooter. In the mid-range, he's an assassin. He comes off screens. He's very confident in his mid-range game, his ability to get to the cup. He's not that great of a playmaker. His comp for me is Dennis Schroeder, in my opinion. He's a great defender, can really navigate screens very well. I just don't see how this could be a bad pick for us. And for him to fall to 17, this was a great pick for us.
For me, I got Bryce Sensabaugh to Utah. 40% three-point shooter, great at attacking the rim. He didn't take too many shots. He took a lot of good shots in college. Really good defender. Size, like he's really built like a full NBA type player, 6'4", 6'5". He brings a lot of scoring to the Utah Jazz. He brings that tenacity to the Utah Jazz. He brings a jump shot. And I think them getting him that late in the draft, because I thought he was a top 20, 25 player in this draft, them getting him that late, I thought was huge, bringing in some more young talent into the rotation. So I like that pick.
And, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my boy Maxwell Lewis at
leading
pick
that also.
number 40. I mean, come on, Riv. You had to know that I was going to mention him.
Don't even know
getting him
Maxwell
at pick
Lewis,
40. He was, respect the two-way demon. Respect him.
What school he went to?
Don't do that to me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
draft night was last night.
That's a fact. Listen, sometimes it slips the mind.
It starts with a P.
You're not gonna get it, bro.
Oh, I know. Pepperdine, right?
Fuck.
He cooked you.
Come on, bro.
You
All you had to do is give me a second, Joel.
He let Dehls cook.
All you had to do is give me a second. But nevertheless, the fact that we were able to finesse him at pick 40 when a lot of people had him going in round one, again, the two-way ability, I believe in our development of our players.
Athletic.
Yeah, absolutely. We needed some wing depth.
Record full.
There it is.
He was great for them.
I couldn't let me think, man.
He wasn't
It was
gonna-
on
bro,
the
you
tip
wasn't
of
gonna-
my
once you said P, I said it's
tongue.
right in my face.
You did him dirty for that. You should have let him.
You should have let me do his weight. Now
wasn't
You should
gonna
at least give him like
violate
10
me.
seconds. to
Yeah,
answer.
no,
My
it was
bad, my bad.
immediate.
How
It's
did he?
all right,
How
it's all
did
right.
he catch it faster than you though?
Hey, his brain worked faster than mine for a second. It happens.
Respect to Dehls.
He's a smart man.
He's intelligent.
He is.
Mine's a bit of a cop-out because it was right outside the lottery at pick 15, but I really like the Kobe pick to Atlanta. I think he's because he kind of
Kobe's
fits.
tough.
He kind of fits like seamlessly between Trey and DeJounte because he's a really good shooter. So I think he could play with DeJounte. And he's skinny. He's only 187, but he showed some flashes being able to defend, especially on ball.
He
So
was
I think,
mad good defensively.
yeah, so it's a little skeptical playing him and Trey together just because they are so, thin, and it's going to be pretty easy, honestly, to get a switch on both of them and be able to just take into the paint. But I think he's like a really perfect combination to kind of round out their guards.
Oh my goodness.
Why are they doing this?
I'm
Why do you
gonna
think that?
I'm gonna name two picks right here just because these are both my teams and I need to give them some love. First up is the Timberwolves, Leonard Miller.
Dog pick.
First round talent.
You have to.
Fell all the way to 32 in the second round, and the Timberwolves traded to pick him. This could be a Nas Reed replacement. Leonard Miller is a really good player.
For the cycle.
No fucking way.
Hey, what happened?
Ali De La Cruz sit for the cycle.
Bro's been in the league for like a month.
Yeah, he's gonna win Rookie of the Year.
That's crazy.
That's also nuts because there's another rookie who ironically
Is it from Miami?
no. But Miami is also going to be in contention for MVP.
They have a lot of young
Arizona, Corbin Carroll.
Okay.
Bro's,
Oh yeah, he's technically a rookie. Still,
yeah,
right?
bro. He's in
He
MVP
might be MVP,
contention. He's
Aren't
a
the
rookie.
Diamondbacks really good this year?
They are.
Are
They're
the
in
Marlins
first.
really good?
They are.
They
I
are.
told you about them a couple months ago.
I told
You
you
did.
about them.
No, I did, bro.
He's
I
the
told you
Jazz
about
guy.
them.
And the second pick I'll mention is the Kings taking Kobe Jones. Kobe
Damn.
Jones is the perfect
God forbid.
Mike Brown
Cam
type of guy.
Whitmore,
Yes.
I want Kobe on the Celtics.
He's on my team now. He's on the Kings now.
Named two, and you couldn't just go 1-1. You had the two. Leading that.
Listen, I'll let you.
Bro, just talk about Nick Smith to the Hornets. I know that's what you want to talk about.
Rev, I'll let you further explain Kobe Jones' game, but just know that's my mention, Kobe Jones.
No, I don't you do all the work. I'm gonna just bring up it's a good.
You also forgot to mention the Tim's guy, Jalen Clark, which I thought was a really good
a good pick too.
Yeah, he won Defensive Player of the Year in college. Unfortunately, he tore his meniscus or his ACL. One of those his last year, but he's a really good defender, scrappy player, can rebound the ball. He fits right into what Minnesota wants to do. Thought you were gonna say it. Leonard Miller was also a great pick. Shout out to Minnesota. The Kings, by trading Rashawn Holmes to the Mavericks, because they had pick 24 and that was Omax. The Mavericks now have Omax. The Kings have $36 million in cap.
Get a wing.
Now there have been some rumors about Draymond.
They're not getting the guy that stomped on some bullshit.
But I'm looking at Kyle Kuzma. I'm looking at Kyle Kuzma to the Kings. With Kobe Jones.
Imagine being happy to sign Kyle Kuzma to $30 million.
What happens when teams
not to $30 million, but we're talking about a good $20 million. Yeah, I'll get out there.
You're giving $20 million of your 36 in cap to Kyle Kuzma.
Kyle Kuzma's a good player.
For 20 a year, that's pretty firm.
Kuzma's not that good.
New TV deal soon.
Kuzma's not that good.
Talk to me about James Najee already, bro.
I thought you were gonna do that. I left them all for you.
I mean, the Hornets picks, they really finesse.
Speak on Kobe Jones a little bit. Does a little bit of everything. Swiss Army knife, can shoot, defend.
Would you say would have perfect for the Celtics?
Great. You're idiots, but you guys do dumb shit all day. Great, yeah, just good player. He's gonna fit perfectly in the Sacramento. He won't stink it up like Kevin Hurt in the playoffs. I'll tell you that. He will not do that. My turn. Here we go. Who did I have? Julian Strawther to Denver. You know, them trading to get him. Just another scrappy player like Christian Brown.
School he go to?
He went to Gonzaga.
Respect me.
3-and-D player, can come in immediately, defend, hit the three ball. And for a team that might not get Bruce Brown back, unfortunately, getting a guy like this in the draft could be huge because we think Christian Brown is going to take the Bruce Brown role. So we need somebody to take his role. And I think Julian can come in and immediately take his role because he can stretch the floor, hit the three ball, defend really well. And he's really good size, 6'7", 215, 220, I believe. So he's a great pick for Denver. And they're consistently building guys, bringing in guys late in the draft that just fit the role of Denver culture and just do good things on the basketball courts.
You want me to talk about Ben Shepherd?
I didn't put him on.
Okay, all right. Listen, Ben Shepherd going to the Pacers. I think that was a very solid pick as well. Pacers just add to their three-point shooting.
Oh, I have one more after you, by the way.
That's fine with me. And then, of course, the Hornets getting Nick Smith with the 27th pick overall and then trading up to acquire James Najee at pick 31. You add depth at the big position. That was a desperate need for the Hornets, if you ask me. And then Nick Smith, get him at pick 27. Now, you don't take Scoot Henderson, which a lot of people are questioning, but then you go and you take the late round flyer on Nick Smith, who has the upside, who to a lot of people was supposed to be a top 5 pick prior to this NBA season, before this NCAA season, was riddled with injuries, came back, did not shoot the ball at an efficient clip, really struggled to find his role since he wasn't the primary ball handler with Anthony Black being on the team as well. But I do look at this pick at pick 27 as a very high value pick for them. And then James Najee as well, trading up to acquire him, solidifies that front court a little bit more.
Damn.
Here we go.
Ellie De La Cruz triples.
All right. This one was beautiful. This just G.G. Jackson to Memphis.
That was fire.
Why did the league let this happen, man? I mean, this is probably a top 3 developing team in the league, maybe top 1.
I was going to say
they developed talent out there.
You guys fell off,
unfortunately. You cooked. Unfortunately, they developed players out the ass, and getting G.G. Jackson, 6'10", 6'11", can handle the ball. 18 years old, smooth. You know, he's a little bit raw, but he's one of my young prospects. Yeah. You know, he fits my academy. He's going to be amazing for them, and they can develop him well, bring him up strong. Man. And you could potentially see a Jaren Jackson, G.G. Jackson, which is beautiful, front court, and that would be amazing. So that was a great pick for them that they was able to get him that late.
I blanked out for a quick minute because I was reading some tweets about Kevin Durant. Just get caught up on what happened in Spaces. Did you mention Ben Shepherd?
He did.
I did.
You did. Okay, good.
Come on, bro.
What is KD? What are they saying?
Is he
lying
it's
up
just
there?
No, it's just funny.
You can ask me where Ben Shepherd went to college.
You looked it up.
I didn't.
We go.
Come on.
You did. I don't see anything.
It seems like most people are like on KD's side about this.
Oh, so
how are they not going to be?
Low and swiping it, lying?
I don't know, lying, but they're just saying that the entire Spaces was mostly them pressing KD.
That's not a good look.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You get KD in your spaces, you press him.
And they were talking
need to
about
meet
rim
me.
pressure and
But
stuff.
what did I just say?
Yeah.
A lot of people say if the person came to you and you actually had a conversation, would you keep that same energy? I can at least respect that they're trying to keep that same energy. However, you're talking to an NBA great. You're talking to a legend of the game. There's a certain respect that should be had.
And it's also just memes that they're making about the situation. That's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
I was gonna say,
If you
shout out
want-
to my boy Sean Davis, of course, Laker legend, and
They're saying the
content.
only
He's saying that KD's doing his thing, but then he kind of backtracked off of it.
They're
I don't
saying
know
the
what
only
he's
thing KD is lying about is that he thinks he puts pressure on the rim, and the numbers are saying he does not put pressure on the rim.
The player I'm gonna go with that I loved, Jordan Walsh.
There you go.
nice.
Jordan Walsh, I love this pick. All
That
around
hurts.
player.
Convince me.
He went. He went to the Celtics. Jordan Walsh, I think, was a player that could have been an early second rounder. He's an elite defender. He can do a little bit of everything, drive to the basket. He can rebound. He can play make. The only thing right now he's lacking is a jump shot. That's a huge concern, but I think he can develop it. He was a top prospect coming out of high school, and he was supposed to be a lottery pick in the offseason. They had him mocked as a lottery pick, but, the jump shot never came along, and Anthony Black was better than him. So he fell all the way here, but Jordan Walsh, somebody I really like his game a lot.
Yeah, needs some grit and grind because we traded our heart and soul of the team.
He can be that.
Moving on, my one. I love the Jariq Whitehead story. I love keeping him in Brooklyn with the Nets. 18 years old, part of Riv Academy, of course, top high school recruit. And this year was kind of a wash. He had a foot injury, was it right? He hurt his foot early on into the season, so there's nothing you could really take from his single season at Duke.
He did play really well down the stretch. He was really good.
Yeah, but I think his overall numbers wasn't what we expected
Buddy.
to be. But I love the fact that he's staying local, staying to home. And the Nets at this point, they apparently turned down wasn't looking at pick 3 in Simons for Mikal Bridges, which is in itself insane. But they just need to get some guys with talent because they have a fun team. It's very similar to the Nets pre KD and Harden. We're just a bunch of really good role player types.
What are we doing?
But yeah, I think Whitehead has high upside.
Listen, Nets did amazing. Depending on if they go
Really
the young
good
route,
picks.
they did
Really good picks.
amazing in this draft.
Clowney, yeah.
I want to say something because this Mikal Bridges shit has to stop. They think this man is like a superstar in the NBA. They declining these deals that look
If
really
it's true,
for his value. If they're true,
yeah.
these deals for his value
Declining
are really
Scoot for
good.
Mikal's insane.
Really, really. Even Simons in that pick is nuts, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know who they think Mikal is. I guess they don't want to rebuild, hence why they keep. But these deals look amazing for Mikal's value.
The first side, who offered? Was it the Grizzlies offered 4 or 5 first?
Four first. I want
That
to say in a
maybe
play.
I get it because you're expecting the Grizzlies to be good, but
Even
if
then,
you can
that's
get pick
still
3 in
good.
Simons,
That's late first, though. Mikal Bridges is worth more than that.
and you don't have your pick, so it's not like if you're being
Is he?
good.
Yes.
4 first.
Mikal Bridges is awesome.
Be honest. Would you rather have Mikal for the future or Scoot Henderson?
Scoot, but I'm saying
So
I'm
then
talking about the
what's about
Grizzlies
4
package.
first for
Oh, the
Mikal?
Grizzlies package. Yeah, no. I think
4 late first round picks of Mikal Bridges. I'm saying Mikal Bridges.
turning down
If you
pick
had your
number
own,
3.
if you had your own picks, it's more enticing.
You think that's actually true though? Let's be honest.
I don't.
You think it's true
I
that
think
they
it's
declined it? I don't think so.
Where's the source?
Even if I'll be honest, if it's just a third pick for Bridges, I'm saying yes to the third pick.
That's
Yes,
what I mean.
Quite easily. Even if it was Brandon Miller, still do it.
Yes. But I'd still do it.
No disrespect to Brandon.
Well, you don't know. You're just taking
you
the
need a
gamble
franchise
regardless.
guard.
You're taking the gamble regardless.
I
You
mean,
have the gamble of getting Scoot. You take the chance.
What?
No, you take Amon.
What's Brandon's ceiling compared to Mikal's? Is it significantly higher?
Zach Lowe was one reported it.
I would say an all-star guard.
Okay. I mean, Mikal can be an all-star.
Even in the third pick,
forward
you
guard.
could take Amon.
Yeah. But I wouldn't do that.
If you traded Mikal for
It's Scoot or bust.
No, I'm saying if you don't get Scoot, you get
No,
Amon.
no, I got you. But
It's
Scoot
trading
was
Mikal
there.
Bridges
is what I'm
it's
saying.
fucking KD.
We are, and it's nuts. I just want to point that out.
So the other pick I have, the last one I'll mention, is Keontae George to the Jazz.
Okay.
He has the freedom to play the way he wants to
doubt.
in Utah. He's going to be coached hard under Will Hardy, and I like that a lot for
You
Keontae.
gonna watch us this year?
Watch us. I was watching him with Vando. That's my guy.
No, it's just asking.
Yes, I
Vando's
watch
gone.
the Jazz.
What school did Vandal go to? I'm
Vanderbilt.
just gonna ask all these.
He did not go to Vanderbilt.
I was just saying, Vando to Vanderbilt's kind of.
Do you
insane.
actually know where he went?
No, I don't. I
Kentucky.
don't. Kentucky. Okay.
He doesn't seem like a Kentucky guy, right?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, not at
That's
all.
weird.
Yeah. Let's shout out to Keontae George for making the team. Guy who he collapsed on the court at Kansas State. Wasn't supposed to even be able to play ball again. Got picked by the Thunder. Got to show him a little love. So congrats to him for
Respect
doing
that.
that.
Facts.
For me, I'm pretty much done.
Trace Jackson Davis, bro, steal.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good pick.
He was tweeting angry.
He was very upset.
If the Blazers end up actually trying to compete, I liked Chris Murray for them. If they're trying to rebuild, it's kind of weird.
That's what me and Drew was talking about.
Yeah.
We were very
I think it could be
weird.
both. He's only 22.
23.
23?
Yeah.
My bad. So not that much. Like, come on, bro.
But 23 is a prospect is kind of old.
Hey, come on. We can't. Me and you can't say that.
I was gonna say you guys are
you can't
I
say
think
that.
he's
1 year older.
he turns
the
23.
captains of being critical of older players.
We like the youth program.
Yeah, he turns 23 in August.
So he'll be
So he's 22 now.
He'll be a 20-year-old rookie.
Okay.
Exactly.
But still, by the time Scoots
Maybe on
like
Mitchell's
an all-star,
23.
he's going to be like 27.
I know. He just felt like someone that would be able to go to a contender and like help right away. And if the Blazers aren't going
You
to
said
be
by
that,
the time Scoot's an all-star, he'll be 27.
Yeah.
You're nuts.
he's
by
in
the
the
way.
20.
That means
You're
4
fine.
years from now, should Scoot not be an all-star in 4 years?
You said 27.
Well, in 4 years, he'll be 27.
Scooped?
No,
Keegan.
Chris
I mean,
Murray.
no, Chris Murray.
Oh, you heard you say scooped.
No, I said Chris
Oh,
Murray.
I thought you said
No,
scoop.
no, I said Chris Murray.
I think he's going to be a late bloomer.
So there's a super chat here for you.
I
Older
like
than
you,
Jalen
Riff.
Green.
Hmm?
What do you mean? This guy's sick.
There's a super chat here for you, Riv. Riv, how do you feel about our Cavs drafting Amani Bates, and do you think he could potentially start over Okoro?
Well, Corey ain't shit. So
No Tracy Jackson love either.
We got
Tracy
him.
Jackson Davis.
We got him.
He
That's
was a good
another
player.
debate I won.
What?
Carl's mid.
Yeah, you know that one. I take that on that one. I tried.
Gotta take my W's where I can, man.
No, Imani Bates has no shot of starting over Okoro, but Okoro is probably not going to start. Hopefully,
Is LeVert going to start?
no. Hopefully, somebody better.
They
than
just get a
both.
wing somewhere.
Yeah, please. I beg them. Maybe like I don't know.
So I'm looking at the tweets about this space, and a lot of people are just annoyed at the fact that the only argument about KD's flaw in his game is rim pressure, because Kevin Durant's a top 5
One of the
playoff
best, yeah.
scorer ever, and all they're talking about is rim pressure. At least that's what the tweets are saying. But even then, like, the attempts at the rim for Kevin Durant are not there. So I understand why people bring that up, but he drives to the basket. It's just that the attempts at the rim are not there. He's just not taking shots at the rim, but he drives to the basket with. Only Kevin Durant could be this criticized for averaging 29 points in the playoffs.
It's just hilarious
On
that he's
60%
in
true shooting.
spaces that's called Kevin Durant is not top 5.
But
I
the
would
one
tell him
thing,
to change
the
that.
one thing I do disagree with
Oh,
Lowe.
Kevin Durant left.
Yeah, he did. He
Good.
been left.
Good.
The only thing I disagree with Lowe about the take
I
he
hope they
made-
had a cordial leaving though. Not like a
Yeah.
yo, fuck you, get out of here. You know what I
He
mean?
definitely said, "Y'all clowns," and I'm out.
the only thing that the thing that I do disagree with about Lowe's take about KD is that he gets heavily criticized.
He's as someone who heavily
He's,
criticizes Kevin
he's
Durant.
probably the most heavily criticized NBA player right now. If he's not one, he's top 3
Is
He
LeBron
also-
more criticized?
Does he get?
right now.
I'm in general.
I feel like the media saves him a lot, bro.
KD?
Since KD went to go to state, KD has received more criticism.
I can agree with that.
That's true.
I think since 2017, there's been no player criticized more who has faced more scrutiny than Kevin Durant. Has he done things that have put that on his back? That's a different conversation. But more often than not, he produces on the court when he's on the
And
court.
Lowe's entire argument in his take was he performs badly, but we still rank him as one of the top players in the league in the playoffs. But post his Achilles tear, he's had 3 playoffs. It was the Milwaukee one, which after that playoff run, I mean, he was one of the best players in the world.
And it's also hard after that Milwaukee playoff run to top that playoffs.
I think
And the Celtics one, he was bad, but based off his history, you still give him that respect. And then this one,
He's
I
good.
guess after this
He's all
one,
right.
you can drop him off. But still, it's not like he's had like years in a row of being bad, and we still highly rank him. It's really just been one.
I think Lowe gets upset because what we've seen from the media a lot lately is they still, when they talk about the best player in the world, they bring up KD's name and they miss out on a couple other names. Like you hear Giannis, you hear KD a lot, but you miss out on a couple others that you could put over KD in the last couple of years. So I think that's more why, like, he's probably saying that. I'm just assuming, I don't know, but I think that's more why he's
Would
saying
you rather have Luka or would you rather have Kyrie? I feel like yes,
KD?
just in general, who's a better basketball player right now?
Luka or KD?
I'm sorry, that's why I said
yeah,
Kyrie.
yeah,
That's an
yeah,
honest
yeah,
mistake.
I'd rather have Luka.
Luka.
I think for me, I think the top 4 players in the world in order are Jokic, Steph, Giannis, and Luka. That's my top 4.
So Giannis dropped to 3.
I think that you can, even after last season, Steph winning a championship, you could put him number 1.
But did you have Steph at number 1 after winning the championship?
I think I did, yes.
Did I have him one? I trolled one.
And even if I didn't have a number one, I was like, there's a legit argument for him being number
after
one.
losing in the first round when he was
It's
injured.
Steph, though.
I mean, it's top
Steph
3.
No,
like,
I'm
we're splitting hairs.
He dropped to
dropped
the
1
guy
to 3. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
He dropped under Steph or the Joker.
No. Jokic, I'm fine with him being number one. He just won NBA champion.
Oh, yeah. Just making sure we got to get that in order.
The dude's number one. He deserves it.
Okay.
For sure. I'm just saying 1 to 3.
I think those are the 4. However the order is. Luka's 4 firm,
and
the
those
other 3. As long as Joker's 1, Luka's 4. The 2
It's
respectfully,
like,
Steph is not losing to 8 seed Miami Heat. He's not. Respectfully, he is not.
No, he lost to the 7th seed and got blown out by 30. I'll also say this.
Okay,
I'll also say this.
Steph's not losing to Jimmy Butler.
That Lakers team is more talented.
Let's get that in order. Yeah.
People have been, of the last 2 years, I'll say, have been quick to take LeBron James out of their top 5. So Kevin Durant can't be overly upset with people taking him out of their top 5 when he has not played to the normal level of Kevin Durant. That's just the argument that I'll put forth because, of course, LeBron James continues to produce, was second team All-NBA this year, made it to the WCF on a torn tendon in his foot. So just a little counter argument there.
I've been taking Luke over KD for like 5 years now, bro.
5 years?
Correct.
Not 5 years. I'll be maybe like 4, maybe 3, 4. Yeah. I've been taking Luke over KD for a while.
Took Luka as a rookie over KD.
Second year for sure. After the second year in the bubble, when he hit the game winner over Reggie Jackson, I think it was.
Oh, so when he lost in the first round, you're like, yeah, this guy's better than Kevin
He
Durant.
was fucking generational.
But now Giannis loses in the first round, and now he dropped in the third.
That was bad.
Got it. He was hurt.
Well, no, I think you like when
I'm dropping him below Jokic and Steph.
When Steph okay, so when Giannis was 1, it was last postseason. The postseason for this one, Steph won a chip. You can argue, you can put him over,
but no one did. Why? Kind of rude.
Well, some people saw Joker. It's like an interchangeable thing. They all go in motion. You know, as long as those are top 3, I don't think it really matters too much. Then he loses to an AFC. It's kind of nuts.
Gotcha. I got you.
Very nuts.
Just saying, dropping him from 1
and then
to 3.
that 4th quarters in those last couple.
Giannis
games,
is
nuts.
An all-around great player. You know, of course, he offers more defense than Steph. Steph is arguably the greatest offensive engine in history.
I'm not gonna disagree ever.
It's, you know, for me,
it's insane.
If I'm building a championship team around one player, even at Steph's age, I take Steph right now. I think it's harder to build a championship team around Giannis. Course.
I mean, Steph Curry is a top 10 player all time.
I know, but I think it's harder to build a championship team around Giannis. I do.
They did it before he turned 30, so that's a W.
They did it, yeah.
Drew Holiday shit. Shout out to Drew, man.
Shout out to Giannis.
Oh, because that Bledsoe team was.
Shout out to Middleton.
Yeah. 50 ball on the closeout. I will say.
Remember when Drew?
Drew. Nah.
Shout out to PJ Tucker.
That's next. Yeah, next.
This guy was gonna applaud and realize, let me not.
Let's talk about the Warriors more because they traded Jordan Poole, and this was the trade. The Warriors received Chris Paul.
It's been a rough week for us.
The Wizards received Jordan Poole, Ryan Rollins, Patrick Baldwin Jr.
PBJ.
And people have made a big ruckus about the picks, but let's get the pick straight on here. It's a 2030 first-round pick. Top 20 protected. So it's really just like a pseudo first-round pick. Washington's probably never going to see that. And it's a 2027 second-round pick.
And we'll be dog shit.
Can I ask you a question, bro? If I send you a video, would you be able to play it for the stream or no?
We'll be,
yeah, I can.
Awesome.
Top 4.
You can have it, whatever.
We might need it.
You know what? And I say this, I asked this question because I would love for the fans to see Riv's reaction because we were at my house. We were on a meeting, actually. And Riv randomly just collapses to the floor. He just falls to the ground. And I'm just like, man, I hope everything's all right. So I'm just having the conversation with the guys at the meeting. And I go to, I think one of the guys in the meeting asked Riv a question. He goes, I can't talk right now. We just traded Jordan Poole for fucking Chris Paul. I died. I laughed so damn hard. And I already jokingly said in the beginning of the show, listen, this is my W for sure. Because I was very
Drew, do you have the video file?
Itself?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just send me the video itself.
Say
this is a fucking funny joke to you guys.
But Riv, man, first and foremost, I do want to issue just say I'm sorry. You know, I'm sure you're going through a hard time right now. I know Jordan Poole is one of your favorite players in the league.
Definitely one of my guys.
You know what I'm saying?
One of my youth. He's in my youth program, man.
And for him to be traded.
He might retire from it.
Traded like he was a bag of potato chips. That's really what I look at. And really, if I'm a Jordan Poole fan, that's really what hurts me the most, because not only did we just trade Jordan Poole, we also traded, hey, your guy Patrick Baldwin, who you had some kind of hopes for.
He was cool.
Yeah, not a bad 3-point shooter. And you traded a first-round pick on top of that.
Top 20 protected.
On top of that, just to get him off. And you took on another guy who's going to be making $40 million this season.
30.
I don't know if that makes me feel better, to be honest with you. So, listen, good luck. You're going to be competing for a championship, allegedly, because you're not going to be releasing or waiving Chris Paul in the near future. Joel, you let me know when you have this video.
You gave your take right now, Rev.
All right, Rev.
Chris Paul move was odd. I don't know what's going on over there in that organization, but to talk about Jordan Poole, he's had probably the wildest 12 months of his life, starting from the fact that he went from a championship parade to getting punched in the face, to having a dog shit season, to not being played in the playoffs, to getting traded to the Washington Wizards. If you talk about
getting outplayed by Austin Reeves.
Okay. I mean, Austin Reeves will never hit 6 threes in a playoff
Generational
game.
efficiency in the WCF.
I have records in my phone. I made sure to save them.
I have records too.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Generational efficiency in WCF against the
Hey,
champions.
listen, I told you, don't let him get paid and he falls off. I will fucking fry you.
Listen, that's just not in his nature.
He's a role player.
He's a high-level role player. That's the thing. Austin knows his role. Poole failed to do that.
You know what's interesting that you always say that? I wonder what our team would look like if Reeves started and Steph got hurt. We'd probably lose a lot of games.
Wait, if Reeves started on your team
instead of Poole and Steph got hurt, we'd lose a good.
Do you
amount
forget
of games.
that LeBron James was hurt and Reeves had to take a majority of?
Wasn't that towards your end of your schedule? It was mid.
Sort of, kind of, but it wasn't towards the end, really, because LeBron came back.
Let's get back to the take it.
Hey, Bozo. Hey, Bozo.
Here we go.
LeBron came back.
We have the video now. I will play.
Rev. Jordan Poole just got traded to the Washington Wizards for the one and only Chris Paul.
I want Mike. I need somebody to set up the UFC boxing match for me and Mike Dunleavy. I just don't get it, bro.
Dunleavy said, bro, we gonna have him here for the next 4 years at least. That's our plan. What you got to say to Mike Dunleavy? Talk to me, Rev.
He's a fucking dumb dick. And we gave up the 19th pick.
Bro.
Wizards Nation, man. Yeah, I was scared. Yeah, I was scared.
I was scared.
Yeah.
Dumb dick's hilarious.
Sucks for Poole. Getting traded for Chris Paul's nuts. I'll be honest. If I'm an NBA player, I'm in the lab every day, all day, 24 hours. Poole. My confusion is, at what point, like this, what is this version of Chris Paul is gonna do better than Jordan Poole? I don't know. I mean,
play his role.
Chemistry.
What is he? What chemistry? I mean,
him and Steph got beef. But
yeah, I don't know. Listen, the Warriors run a fast-paced offense. Chris Paul likes to slow it down. The Warriors are old. They run we don't run pick and roll as much. Chris Paul loves pick and roll. We don't even have a legit pick and roll bigs. It's just Draymond. And Kuminga's a good roller if they ever play him. So it's going to be very interesting. We have $30 million allocated to now Chris Paul, but it's like a 1-year deal. So I guess we get that money back. We save money. You keep Draymond in the event. So now you're pretty much building a team for the Steph window, which what you wanted to do in the first place is continue to win and be at the highest level with Steph. So I understand that. For the Poole perspective, whatever, you now get a team to go have fun, do what you want. That's what you wanted to do. You felt like you could be a starter. Now you can go be a starter for the Washington Wizards at Capital One Arena. I looked up the arena. It's very nasty business. I'll be there, though.
Ready to drive 4 hours to go watch.
Yeah, I'll be there. But, I think the trade, obviously, when you, like, I just don't get, like, maybe somebody can explain it to me. What does Chris Paul can do for you at this point in your career? He got hurt off jumping for a rebound. This is legit. Like, he's old, bro. He's old. He can't defend. I don't. What does he do? Like, what was he gonna do that
Can pass?
Cool.
Poole's not a bad place.
He's a leader.
What was he gonna do that Jordan Poole couldn't do at this point? Like,
not turn the ball over as much, maybe.
Cool.
Not take bad shots.
I'd rather that sometimes than not take no shots at all. I mean, I don't know. Like, Chris Paul, he looked unplayable at times too. So, but I think
you think there's baddies in Washington.
There is.
Oh, okay.
No,
nice.
for sure.
Nice. Good to hear.
Yeah, there's actually insane amount of baddies. I think he'd be all right. But all in all, I think this is great for Washington. They got a low risk, high reward type of thing. Poole's contract will be up in 2-3 years, and he's a young player that they can let have fun, probably build his value up if they want to trade him or build and have him included in their plans. For the Warriors, I mean, you have Chris Paul off the bench. So he's, I don't know. You still need a legit big. You still need some wing depth. What are you going to do with Kuminga? There's still a lot of question marks. And if Draymond even comes back, like we don't even know if this move completely makes Draymond even come back. Like that was just to clear up money. We have to hope that Draymond comes back, because if Draymond doesn't come back, this Chris Paul shit is dead. The Warriors are not going anywhere without Draymond Green. He's the heart and soul. He's the defensive rim protector. He's the defensive anchor. He makes the shit go on defense. Steph makes it go on offense. If those two aren't clicking in sync, we are a dog shit team. So this trade it hurt my heart, hurt my soul, but I am Wizards Nation now.
I think your criticisms are valid. Jordan Poole, it's obvious you have an emotional attachment to him. I think a lot of Warriors fans do. You drafted him. You saw him come up from the G League.
You're on the wave too.
On the Jordan Poole wave?
You are.
I mean, if you want to say that, sure.
I will.
That trip run was generational.
I will say that. No, hey.
Shit was so fraudulent.
I could joke as much as I want. He was
He just knew what he do. He just knew what to do. Like he was just
the bag was crazy.
He was just doing
the shooting was crazy.
The fans was loving it.
The half-court shots were crazy.
It was a great year, man. Then he got punched, and then life just failed.
I understand the emotional attachment Warriors fans have to Jordan Poole because he was amazing for them in the 2022 playoff run. And at least one thing you can say about Poole is that he helps you win a championship. The disappointment here lies in the fact that everyone thought, Warriors fans specifically, thought that Jordan Poole was going to be the heir apparent to Steph Curry and take that role eventually as the Warriors' best player down the line one day.
That was Twitter troll. I didn't.
Yo, you're lying. You are fucking lying.
It was on Twitter.
No, bro.
Twitter.
Bro, he's fucking.
It was a Twitter tweet.
You are a
generational
liar.
tweet.
You're a generational liar.
That's pretty serious. It was like a 27%.
He's a generational liar.
All right, maybe
putting
40.
percentages.
He's
on
lying.
Keep going.
Nah, it wasn't higher than 40. I promise you.
Maybe not Steph himself, but
maybe like
a version, a light of Steph light.
Is there not versions of Michael Jordan?
Sure, that's what I'm saying.
So you're expecting to be Kobe Bryant?
Fuck no. Maybe a little lower. Let's go lower. No, maybe let's go like DeMar DeRozan.
Oh my god,
that's valid.
The real truth about this deal is that it wasn't just Jordan Poole for Chris Paul. It was Jordan Poole for Chris Paul and retaining Draymond Green. I think Draymond Green is staying. I don't think he's going anywhere. Hopefully the Warriors are willing to match the money that he wants, because I do believe Draymond wants to be a Warrior lifer. He wants to finish his career with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. I have to applaud Mike Dunleavy for making this move.
I was kind of slouching.
Off the simple fact that
I kind of moaned there.
Off the simple fact that it felt like Bob Myers in his last year as a president was battling between the ideology of sticking with the youth development and winning a championship now. Mike Dunleavy with this move said, we want to win now. We still have Kuminga, Moody. I'm not sure what's going to happen with those two, but we have to be honest about Jordan Poole and the Warriors at this point in time. He was amazing before this season, but once Draymond Green punched him in the face, the chemistry in the locker room totally disappeared. They were awful on the road, and that was never going to be fixed. It wasn't. You couldn't have Jordan Poole in his locker room another year. You can see he was growing frustrated with his role. He wanted to be featured more. And when you're on a team that's trying to win a championship, you have to be unselfish. And Jordan Poole showed down the stretch of the season, he was selfish. So I think this move was to get rid of a locker room cancer that has been growing and retain the heart and soul of this Warriors dynasty. That's what it was. They picked between Jordan Poole and Draymond. And I think we can all say, even if it's a tough decision for some people emotionally to battle with, the answer is always Draymond over Poole, because he's far more valuable. And Chris Paul, he's not the same player he once was. I am curious to see how he fits into the offense that is so much with
no clue.
Fast pace. It's a fast paced offense.
It's like the worst.
They're probably going to run.
But the
different
good
offenses.
part about this trade is that Chris Paul is now the backup point guard. Chris Paul now enters a season where he doesn't have to play 30 minutes a game. You can play him for 20 to 24 minutes per game. You can be sold on that production. And maybe we're seeing a version of the Warriors where their starters are playing fast pace. Chris Paul comes into the game with reserves, and it's a slower paced game. And the biggest issue with the Warriors the past couple of seasons have been when Steph Curry's off the court, you guys are not good. Maybe this now turns around that tide. And when Chris Paul is on the court, someone who can manage the game and control the game, you don't lose by that many points. And you're starting to win those minutes when Steph is not on the court.
It was always Poole or Draymond. I mean, really since the punch, we probably should have saw this coming. Right when I saw it, first of all, I was shocked that Jordan Poole's trade value was this low. The fact that you had to attach, even though the picks are meaningless, more or less, the fact that you had to attach anything at all and just get Chris Paul back was shocking to me. I thought Jordan Poole, coming off a down year, he's still super young. You still see the potential. I mean, he's going to go there and probably be top 10, 15 in scoring, right? He's going to give you 25 plus probably with the Wizards, given there's really nothing else on that roster. But I was shocked at how low his trade value was. And obviously, Riv, you and Mike Dunleavy are going to have to, chat a bit because it was getting Chris Paul is not the ideal fit for this Warriors offense, which
first move is GM.
Which is
Get
so
Poole the fuck out of
it's
town.
just so reliant on movement and
after saying
athleticism.
He was looking forward to the next 4 years.
That's what I'm saying. That's where shit kind of.
But GMs do that all the time, and coaches do that all the time. Like Brad Stevens just said, "I love our core. I don't want to mess with it." And he traded Marcus Smart. I mean, GMs really don't have
crazy.
That's a more hurtful move. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but GMs don't have what's the reason for him to go up there and say, I don't know, maybe Poole, maybe not. He's gonna go up there and say, I like our guys, blah blah blah. The regular GM speak. But not only does this give you Draymond, it does give you flexibility in the future because next year you'll be off the Chris Paul contract and you'll be off the Klay contract.
It gives us flexibility before. No, it actually gives us flexibility to sign Draymond and re-sign Klay.
Yeah, but if it comes down to it and you don't have to re-sign Klay, now you're not going to have that much. You should have cap room. If you're just paying, Draymond's not going to be a $40 million cap, right? It'll be 20, 25, probably, maybe 30.
I don't see a world
Curry,
they don't re-sign Klay.
I don't think either, but you still have the flexibility. If he does, not perform up to what we're expecting, or he has another playoffs where he really struggles, at least the front office, who, to Joel's point, probably doesn't have as much of attachment as Bob Myers has. You have more flexibility because you don't have Jordan Poole's $140 million contract on the books. So it's a weird fit. I didn't understand the move. But I guess for the future and looking forward to, the CBA, of course, as well, that we're going to be talking about the next couple of years. It's probably a necessary move. The Jordan Poole contract, it's not going to age well. The Wizards on their side of things, though, they're getting not a flyer because you're paying him so much money, but you're getting someone who's going to be the best player on your team, right? And you didn't have to give up anything for him, and you did get 2 extra draft picks. So for the Wizards, I'm excited. I'm excited for Jordan Poole, who is going to get a reset. It's going to be an incredibly low-pressure environment. The Wizards are going to be expected to win 20 games. He could go out there, he could hoop, get his confidence back. Maybe in a couple of years, he get moved on to a contender. But for the Warriors, it's an incredibly questionable move for a team that's trying to win a championship.
We'll see just how good Jordan Poole is with this Washington stint. We're going to see just how good Jordan Poole is. Maybe he's Agent Zero 2.0.
I think he's going to give you 25.
Tell the fans.
Gilbert Arenas.
Give me his stat line and efficiency for next year.
I'll go 25, 6-4, like 43, 37, 93 splits.
If he shoots 37% from 3.
That sounds like an all-star to me.
Before.
He has.
That is an all-star.
Yeah.
Why are you acting like he never done that?
Last year, what was he at?
This year?
I think Jordan Poole is capable of that. What if he just shocks everybody?
No, he legit be hating.
And the Wizards
be like legit hate.
33%.
What if the Wizards are playing?
He's never shot lower than 30. He only shot 33. Outside his rookie year, he only shot 33 once.
What's the difference between him and LeBron at this point, right?
Oh, Christ.
I don't see nothing wrong with wanting to ride out with this core of Warriors players, Klay, Dre, and Steph.
I get it.
I don't see anything wrong with it. Those are the guys that you were a dynasty with. You got to treat them with respect. Those are legends in the franchise.
You take Draymond over Poole and you don't think twice about it.
No, I think
and it had to be done.
The funny part is the thing you said where Dunleavy has no ties. I think he's not afraid to, because he had ties with Poole. He was one that was very
because he was
not afraid to
organization.
make the cut, because he's the one who kept telling Myers Poole. Like, I like Poole, keep Poole, and then he ended up inevitably like, nah, we got to keep Dre. I understand that's most important. So he's not afraid to make no ties. Chris Paul, I don't know like where he fit. Like,
it's weird.
Fuck Poole's gone. Whatever. All right, you traded Poole. Like, he's going to Washington. Where does Chris Paul fit within the system, in the scheme? Will they run a different set when Chris Paul is on the court? Steph is on the court. Will they run slower? Will they run fast? Like, defensively, what is he going to look like? Will he be able to score? How will they run pick and roll? We still have these same big man problems. I don't know where he fits within the roster and the rotation. Now you said you're going to keep Kuminga. What are you going to do with Kuminga now? What are you going to do with Moody? Like, there's still going to be these same issues. You just fixed one less problem.
I'm counting on Chris Paul to be adaptable.
I am too.
It's tough.
It's a luxury.
No, it's not even like he's not smart enough to do it.
Adapt to it physically. I think is the bigger question.
Yeah, that's the thing. He even though he can not play 30 minutes and he still gets hurt. Like, regardless.
But if he's not giving you those minutes,
better though. I think Chris Paul is going from being a lead ball handler, playing 30+ minutes per game, to now coming off the bench. And I think even if it's more strenuous, there's higher pace involved when he's in the game. I think that his body should hold up better than it was before when he was a starter getting so much minutes. And I do think that the Warriors next year are going to play at two different paces. When Chris Paul is on the court with Steph and Dre and Clay, they will play that same Warriors brand of basketball. But when those guys get subbed out, I think we're going to see slower pace. And Chris Paul knows how to control the game. He doesn't provide the same rim pressure anymore, but I think even at 38, Chris Paul is a better defender than Jordan Poole. He is a better playmaker than Jordan Poole.
I don't know.
No, he's a better defender.
They're both not good.
Yeah.
Jordan Poole's a cone.
Chris Paul was just as unplayable, bro.
Yeah, and Chris Paul is going to catch and he's a great catch and shoot shooter as well.
But like, all right, so like when Steph and Poole were on the court, Poole was the point guard. Steph comes off the screen. But the thing was, Poole's ability to put pressure on the rim opens up the court. If Chris Paul and Steph are playing on the same court at the same time, that's a really small lineup. Like, really, and Chris Paul puts no pressure on the rim.
I only think the Warriors regret this decision if Jordan Poole really flourishes as a real star in Washington.
Yeah,
I think the only way they would
flourish as a star.
I mean, we know what Poole's going to give them. If
they're a playing team, they're competitive.
Yeah,
I mean, we know.
I agree.
I mean, if we see Jordan Poole and we're like,
you're right.
Wow.
You're 100%
but I think
right.
we've seen what Jordan Poole can give you, but you also know he comes with limitations and what he's going to be able to do. Like, when Steph wasn't on the court, you saw the numbers, balloon, and he was putting up crazy numbers. But I think we all know Jordan Poole is going to go to Washington and put up crazy numbers, but that's still not going to take away from the fact that he probably isn't the best complementary piece for a team that's trying to contend, at least right now.
We have to just see if his brand of playing basketball is going to add to wins. Really.
Exactly. Yes.
If he's a winning player.
Yes.
But,
I don't know. I feel like we should have gave him one more year, man. I understand the Draymond contract came and it was a tough time, but like, I feel like as great as he had a year last year and as bad as he had, I feel like he should have got one more chance. But unfortunately, the Draymond contract.
They literally gave him no second chance. He was bad this year.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him no second chance.
You want to know why I think that is, though? You give people second chances if you see within their attitude that they're willing to change.
Yeah.
They were with Jordan Poole all year long.
Bro, you didn't see a struggle beard?
I did see it.
Bro, that tweet kills me, man.
But they probably saw Jordan Poole's attitude throughout the year in the playoffs, and they just didn't think that it was going to change moving forward.
So, and that's something that you can't argue with. Yeah. Did he? Immediately?
Yeah, immediately. I mean, maybe he never was following him in the first place, but that was going around social media.
Yeah, listen, I mean, all jokes aside, I do feel for Poole. He had one bad down year after being unbelievably great, and they let him go like he was a sack of shit. That's something that I could feel for, but we'll see what his next journey is in Washington. Of course, he's going to have all the opportunity in the world.
He's going to put up stupid numbers.
Oh, no, he's going to put up. I just want to see I just want to see what he does in the fourth quarter. That's what I'm interested in. If he makes winning plays, if he can do shit like that, because they're not going to win, but if he can make winning plays, show effort on defense, and you can see he really changed.
And Washington could have either a trade chip, they could flip him later on, or if they could keep him because he's still young enough to be part of this rebuild.
Earlier this week, a big 3-team trade happened. Celtics, Grizzlies, Warriors. The Celtics received Kristaps Porzingis, the 25th overall pick, and a 2024 first-round pick, top 4 protected via the Warriors. Grizzlies received Marcus Smart, and the Wizards received Tyus Jones, Danilo Gallinari, Mike Muscala, the 35th overall pick via the Celtics. I'm sorry I had to end like this, Dehls. The Marcus Smart era in Boston is now over. If it makes you feel better, though, and this is kind of the logic that I had in my head. We know how important Marcus Smart is to the Celtics. He's a heart and soul. And I think Brad Stevens in this trade treated him as such. He wasn't traded for nothing.
No.
He was traded for a legit all-star player.
Facts.
And 2 first-round picks. If that doesn't show you how much Brad Stevens values Marcus Smart, I don't know what will. Because that is a huge return to get for Marcus Smart.
The return's great. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. You have really like 2 different trains of thoughts from people. And it's funny because the people that like the Marcus Smart trade, which is basically like 100%, if you're not a Celtics fan, you love this trade. You think you fleeced. Oh my God, you got it. But those are typically the same people who have the same questions about the Celtics, about the leadership, about does Tatum have that dog in him? You know, can you win with Jaylen Brown being the 2? And really just, I feel like more than anything with the Celtics, it's been not even the talent of the team. The talent's always been there. It's been more about the continuity and can you win with this group of people, with this type of leadership from these players. And Marcus Smart was the leader of this team. He was on this team for 9 years, the longest tenured Celtic on the roster. And what hurts the most is that I thought going into this offseason, our number one need was to get more playmaking and better passing offensively. And Marcus Smart, not saying a ton, was a top 2 playmaker / passer on this team. Him and Tatum, I thought, were the best. And you go and you trade your lead playmaker at guard. I love Derek White. Malcolm Brogdon, solid. But what Marcus Smart was able to do, that's why the Brogdon deal made so much sense, because he was more redundant, I thought, with him and Derek White, at least offensively, because Marcus Smart, I thought, was a facilitator of this offense. And maybe there's some addition by subtraction there. Maybe the ball should be in Jason Tatum hands more down the stretch and Jaylen Brown hands more down the stretch. But I just don't like the people that think Marcus Smart is like just dynamite to an offense in terms of like, you throw him in this offense and shit just blows up because he takes terrible shots and he doesn't know how to run. It's just not true. He had a great playoff run. He won us low-key multiple games through these playoffs.
You're not lying.
He has hit big shots. He honestly, in the 4th quarter, his 3-point percentage in this playoff run was the highest on the team. He is not someone that
he was saving legacy.
He is not someone that is just like putting a wrench into offense. This is not what he does. And Celtics fans, if you love Marcus Smart, which is me, I didn't like the trade. I understand Porzingis comes in and he brings you something different to this team. But I don't think you could rely on Porzingis, Brogdon, and Robert Williams to be 3. Right now, there's only 7 guys in this rotation you're going to trust in the playoffs. Those 3 you're going to be relying on a ton, and they all have extensive injury history. Marcus Smart's someone who's going to come in. He damn near never gets injured. He's the heart and soul of this team. He's the leader of this team. Jason Tatum loves him. Jaylen Brown loves him. And Brad Stevens, it was just as hard for him. He's been with Marcus Smart this entire way, so I know it wasn't easy. But I'm hoping for the best, but expecting the worst, honestly. I know maybe talent-wise you get better, and there's probably another move to make. I don't think you go into the season next year and with just Brogdon and Derek White as your guards. And, of course, you have Brogdon and Sam Hauser. But I don't think those could be your only 2 guards. I think there's another move down the line. And whatever that move is, then I think we kind of come back and see, how it shakes out.
And this was Dell's live reaction to the trade. He posted a picture of himself on Twitter.
Bro's in the corner.
Bro, because me and my girl, we were getting ready for bed, and I get the news. Boom, Porzingis gets traded. It's like, let's go. I'm talking my shit. And then I was like literally just about to go into the room, and I get the alert, Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies. And I said, oh, no. She said, what? I just fell to the floor. It was sick.
Listen, and I've tried to tell you this since the move happened. You said it. If you're not a Celtics fan, you like the move. I wouldn't say it was a fleecing. I just think that I like the deal. You traded your best defensive player, not this past season, 2 seasons ago. This season, he was not the defender, nowhere near the defender that he was the DPOY year. And of course, DPOY, it's very hard to keep that level of play. But he wasn't the best defender that you guys had on the perimeter. You could say that Derek White was your best perimeter defender this year. Absolutely. You mentioned about the playmaking, but you said it very, very blatantly as well. It's not saying much that he's your second best playmaker. Tatum is number 1, but it's not like Malcolm Brogdon can't play make. It's not like Derek White can't play make. It's Jaylen Brown. He needs help in the playmaking department, no doubt. I do believe that in this free agency, you will find another guy that can play make. However, You get 2 first-round picks. Depending on what happens with Golden State, I still think that they'll probably be a playoff team, play-in team. I doubt that they really decide to blow everything up unless Draymond doesn't come back. Then we start to have questions. But I'm going to go in with the expectation that they'll have Draymond. It should be a decent first-round pick. You get this pick that you didn't really. I'm not sure what you guys turned this into. Pick 25.
It was Brandon Walsh 4 second-round picks.
Jordan Walsh.
Jordan Walsh. Okay. So you get Kristaps Porzingis. Now you have some real rim protection. You don't have to rely as heavily on Al Horford anymore. See, now he's kind of getting that CP3 treatment where now you'll have Kristaps Porzingis start at the 5. You'll have Al Horford come in to give you some solid minutes. Of course, you know that he can knock down the 3. That kind of killed you guys in the playoffs where he was not nearly as efficient as he was in the regular season. But that's what you're going to rely on with Kristaps Porzingis. His offensive game, his rim protection, Rob Will and his versatility, you can rely on that. But I think that I understand. Let me not say I think. I understand where you're coming from in terms of you just lost your glue guy. You just lost the leader in the locker room. Now it's Jason Tatum's time to assert himself as the captain, as the leader of this team. That's something, if I'm a Celtics fan, I'm looking forward to because I know if I'm a Celtics fan, I know and I trust in Jason Tatum and his development and his ability to be a galvanizing force in that locker room. So it hurts as a Celtics fan because of what Marcus Smart means to your team, but you understand that you guys still are one of the deepest teams in the league. You address the need of yours, bring in some youth in terms of the in the front court, bringing in Kristaps Porzingis, who is also on an expiring. You get him at a relatively cheap price, but then also you add an extra piece to your offense. There's not as much pressure on the Jaylen Brown, on the Jason Tatum. There's another guy that you can rely on. So it hurts to lose Marcus, but there's upside to this move.
Can you rely on KP? Can you?
65 games this year. Yes, this was the first 65 or something around that. Yeah. Yes, he's struggled with injuries in the past, but this was the healthiest that he's been this past season.
This was also the most he's got the ball.
You don't necessarily need to extend him. You probably will, but you did get the 2 first-round picks for included in the trade.
Extend them?
And this he had to opt into his deal. Correct.
This is my thing. And I think in theory this should be a good move, but you got KP, Rob Will. They're both injury concerns. Your front court is KP, Rob Will, Al Horford. Al Horford's pretty old. You guys are gonna kill him, man. You guys are sick.
Hey, you know what he did against the beat. Don't disrespect.
And then your backcourt, that's the issue. It's naked, like really. It's Derek White.
Good.
It's Malcolm Brogdon.
Good.
Brogdon has
unhealthy.
It's not even. He didn't play well in the playoffs.
He was hurt.
Defensively, he was really like he was the guy getting targeted in every single series they played. Yeah, okay. That's the problem if he hurt because he's always hurt. But I think Porzingis brings some upside to the team. He brings the stretch 4 ability. He can protect the rim. So if Rob can't play, you can play Porzingis, a guy who can protect the rim and can hit shots. So that doesn't leave your offense in a tough spot when Rob is in the game because he's a rim runner. He's not really a shooter. But I think
I know numbers.
He was OD.
But if Poole did that, you would be like the team stinks.
What are you talking about?
The numbers in Washington.
If he did this, like we just had this conversation. If he goes to Washington and he dogs, I give him his praise.
Shut up.
Oh, bro! If he does this, I'll shake your hand and say I'm sorry.
He's done that before.
No,
on a playoff team. Anyways,
you're losing me, Riv.
I think
17 points. Relax. I 17 points.
24 when he started. I think Porzingis brings some good things though. I just think you guys need another guard. I think you need another playmaker. You don't have too many. Marcus Smart, he was hurt last year, so it did drop him off defensively, but he was really fucking good as a playmaker last season.
In the playoffs, he went back to really good defensively.
And I think the playoffs he was a great playmaker too. I think you guys are a little stuck here. You can bank on Jason Tatum always improving, but what about Jaylen Brown? Now this puts more pressure on him to become a better playmaker because you're missing that other guard. And then Derek White, we know what he is. He has to also be another playmaker. But I think all in all, this puts you guys in a good position. I don't know if it makes you guys better. I'll have to see how the fit looks on the court. But in theory, you got 2 first-round picks, or you got 2 picks in general. You got Porzingis from Marcus Smart, the heart and soul of your team. I understand trading the heart and soul is tough, especially one who was in your starting lineup for so long. He kind of kept the boys together. I had that bond, that continuity. But you guys were fucking up anyways late in games and was doing dumb shit down the road anyways with him. And he was a part of the dumb shit at times. He was shooting you out of games at times. So Will Porzingis do that? I don't know, but I think for the haul you got from Marcus Smart, I think it's pretty good.
It was a good talent upgrade. You guys upgraded in talent a lot. You did. And Kristaps Porzingis is coming off his best season.
By far.
65 games played. He was an elite drop defender, rim protector, elite scorer from the post, off the catch, attacking closeouts.
Insanely
he was
good.
elite.
I know.
But here's the rebuttal to all that. When he was in Washington, he didn't have expectations. He didn't have any true stars he was playing off of or had to play off of.
He did what a good player would do.
Bradley Beal was injured last year, and Kyle Kuzma was their second best player most of the season. So he really had free reign to do whatever he wanted. Last time we've seen Kristaps Porzingis in a situation where he played with another star, it was one of the top playmakers in the league, and Luka Doncic,
who's hard to play with.
In the playoffs, Kristaps Porzingis was not good in his last playoffs.
Brunson looked fine.
Okay.
My concern with it is with this move is Joe Mazzulla is a second-year head coach. You lost your locker room leader in Marcus Smart. Kristaps Porzingis now comes in. That's another ego and personality you have to manage. Kristaps Porzingis was in Dallas thinking he deserved more touches than Luka. In Boston,
he was carrying in the Clipper series.
Get out of here. With Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the biggest question mark is who's the playmaker on this team. You're now relying on Tatum and Jaylen Brown to take massive playmaking leaps, and it does feel like an overlapping of skill sets and players that don't complement one another. Porzingis was no doubt a big talent upgrade, but I think, if this was the original trade, if you're trading Malcolm Brogdon, Celtics fans feel much more better because you traded an injury-prone player that you didn't rely on in the playoffs, who wasn't good, for a major talent upgrade, and you didn't have to trade a player who was such an important part of your success. Marcus Smart has been a part of every Celtics era success in the last 8 years. The IT era, the year where they had Jared Sullinger and Olenek. I mean, he's been through those eras. He's seen those things, and it does suck that they have to trade him. But this is a major question mark, and you brought up an excellent point. I don't think this Celtics team is that deep. I really don't. They have 7 players that you trust in a playoff rotation. 3 of those, like Dehls mentioned, are insanely injury prone. KP just had his most healthy season, but are we really counting on that? I think injury is still a question with him.
It is.
So you have 3 players that are injury prone, and who knows if they're going to be able to withstand a regular season and be healthy come playoff time. And then the other elephant in the room, I mean, KP is on a 1-year deal. If this team does not work out, the chemistry does not work out, it's a disaster. KP is walking for nothing. And let's say best case scenario, it does work out, or Kristaps Porzingis at least plays at a great level. Boston is now going to be paying Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kristaps Porzingis a boatload of money. And those are the 3 main players almost all of your cap is going to, and that's going to limit the depth even more. So I think this was a move that, Brad Stevens made thinking that the Celtics can win it all next year.
This was a power move.
It was.
I think that they did this because they believe that Kristaps Porzingis was the missing piece to getting over that hump and winning the NBA championship. I feel like if there was, we got to give praise. Kristaps Porzingis was very good last season. You could say, yes, maybe the expectations weren't there. There's no pressure being put on him. Now that there's going to be a ton of pressure being put on him, especially in Boston, especially when the expectation is championship or bust, we're definitely going to see the true Kristaps Porzingis, but I do believe in his skill set. I believe that he should fit in this system. Again, with how great he is. Say it one more time.
It wasn't.
No, gotcha. The Wizards weren't a good team. I mean, that has nothing to do with Kristaps Porzingis and how great that he played. Obviously, you could play great basketball and you still lose. Look at Damian Lillard. That's another guy who played great basketball, but his team was still losing. You can only impact. It's a team game.
Damian has showed that he can put up 28.
No, I'm just talking last season.
But that's not what Porzingis is going to be in Boston.
Absolutely not.
He's going to be kind of like a 16-8 guy in Boston.
Yeah. Absolutely, who's going to do all the missing pieces that you hadn't had last season.
I'll be honest. If we're going straight off vibes, just aura of the team, it feels like a disaster.
I'm sorry, man.
It feels like a fucking disaster waiting to happen.
Welcome to the party.
It feels like Porzingis gets injured. It feels like he's not going to be there for the playoffs, and you're going to be going in with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and no Marcus Smart, and it's a second round exit. That's what my gut is telling me right now.
Second round exit.
That's
Wow.
that's what my
Did
gut
you
is
pay
telling
Jaylen Brown
me.
yet?
We
You guys
haven't.
give him his bag?
We haven't.
His
Not yet.
bag, man. Hurry up.
I'm trying.
Hey,
Talking
you know,
to Brad every day.
This is,
Say that,
I
man.
think the Kristaps Porzingis move, at least in my opinion, was similar to what the Suns did in trading for Bradley Beal, making a power move there.
Yeah.
There's a difference between those two moves, though. I think the Suns were backed into a wall and needed to make a move like that to even give themselves a chance next year.
Because of how good the Nuggets are.
Not even that, but because Chris Paul is 38.
I apologize.
And that's really it. And they don't have no picks for the future. So they needed to make one of those moves right now. Boston didn't have to make this move.
They didn't.
They could have stayed pat.
And it's important that Brad was loading up on picks.
I feel
I
differently.
don't agree. I feel like they had to make a move. Maybe not this move, but they had to make
Boston?
a move. Yeah.
No, Boston had to make a move, I think, but
they had to retool.
I thought it was you
the
move
Brogdon,
Brogdon
yeah.
and
Yeah,
you get a piece. Now
could have added picks to Brogdon.
The injury, whatever it might be, is worse. I mean, there's actually a report out there that the original deal was still Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies for Porzingis or whatever, or it might have even been to the Wizards, and then the Clippers got involved, and then it changed to Brogdon. But I do think it's important that Brad is loading up on these picks. We could lap out second round picks, but this new CBA is coming up. Second round picks are going to be more valuable because you're going to have guys on nothing contracts and you'll be able to get rookies and kind of replenish your roster. Obviously, we just saw Bradley Beal go for 6 seconds. And plus the extra first for the Warriors, the Celtics still have all of their first round picks. So if they want to make another splash move, they have the assets to be able to do it. The big thing, though, is just going to be able to match salary because outside of Brogdon, who, I mean, if the Clippers don't want you, who knows who's going to want you out there in the NBA? They don't have many salaries to match. You're not trading Brown or Tatum. Al Horford probably doesn't have much trade value. You probably don't want to trade him, honestly. Same with Rob. Like, these guys are part of your core. And then your bench is right now, Grant Williams possibly in a sign and trade is someone that maybe could, match some salary there. But everyone else is gone. Like, there's this roster right now. There's not a ton of guys. Payne Pritchard makes no money. Sam Hauser makes no money. So Brad has the assets pick-wise. It's just going to be tricky to try to make the money work.
Yeah, very different situations if the teams fail. If the Suns fail, they're cooked until 2031.
Agreed. 2031.
Yeah. Unless they trade Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, like who knows what they'll get for those players. But still, they're going to be very bad.
Shit just doesn't even look right, bro.
The Celtics can still retool if it doesn't work.
I needed a better pick for my guy.
twin.
Am I looking at him? Are you looking at a mirror right now, bro?
Oh my God, Marcus Smart in a Grizzlies jersey. I want to throw up.
I'm excited.
Let's talk about the Grizzlies aspect of this trade. They got Marcus Smart. I thought this was a move to replace what Dylan Brooks brought to the team from a leadership
and
heart and soul
25 games
perspective.
And
yes,
and the way you said leadership. Yeah, Dylan Brooks' leadership, garbage compared to what Marcus Smart's going to bring.
No doubt. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
leadership lost me because they don't follow nothing he does.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's cap.
No, it's
He was a heart and soul of the team, bro.
what heart and soul. They let him go to the
Brooks,
fly.
they said we don't want you.
Heart and soul. They sent their heart and soul for the baggage. They let Dylan Brooks walk. Said we're not bringing him back.
Under any circumstance.
Terrible heart and soul.
Like the basketball.
What he
guys
can
aren't
do
gonna
for
help us, man.
just the locker room as a whole. That's
You better
really
watch out how you talk about a future Houston Rocket.
No, he can bring a different type of leadership to that. Like he can
100%,
change. He can
bro.
alter
He
that
is,
culture.
for
Like
sure.
But you mentioned it. 25 games without Ja. Marcus Smart feels that. That's going to be very important. But they're going to have to fill that Tyus Jones need as well. Because it's not just Dylan Brooks that's leaving. It's Tyus Jones, who was one of the best backup point guards in the league.
Smart starts.
I think Smart should
When
start.
Ja's out for sure.
No, I'm talking about when Ja comes back.
Oh,
I don't think Smart should start.
Who starts at the 3?
You're too small if you start Smart.
I don't think you would put Smart at the 3 though.
No,
I think you put him at the 2.
Then you put
but
Bane at
but
the 3.
It's
He's
that's
6'5".
That's so small.
6'5" is
Ja
too small.
Smart.
Is that your
Bane
breakout?
Small.
They need a 3. They need to go into free agency and grab a little cheap 3.
I mean, bro, they were trying their absolute hardest to go get Mikal.
Yeah.
But Desmond
now
Bain,
you're straight to the
6'5", 216. He is smaller for a small forward.
No
Small arms,
wingspan
too.
either. Yeah.
Wingspan.
But
stinks.
you don't have a
baby T-Rex.
forward that you trust. It's Zaire Williams, David Roddy, Santi Aldama. Those are the options you have at wing right
Gotta
now.
go get somebody.
Yeah.
I do think Smart brings an insane new vibe to that young, immature locker room right now. They need something different. They need a guy that's been through it, that's been to multiple ECFs, that's been to the finals, that's taught young guys, that's been in the locker room with these young vets. And he's going to bring.
They need somebody. I think this is what they really need. And I think you're about to say it, but I want to just say the word.
I figured.
Come on, bro, let them cook.
They need somebody to bring the team down to earth.
What's going to say that?
That's what they need.
Hating. I was going to say that. They need. I lost my train of thought.
It's all right, man. I understand. But essentially what River's saying, which is essentially the whole belief, is you need someone that's going to best get Ja in the mindset of, how can I best lock into basketball? How can I best be the best? How can I be the best version of Ja Morant that could benefit the Memphis Grizzlies and our team chemistry together? That's essentially what the Grizzlies brought Marcus Smart there to do, to get Ja on that right path.
Needed a big brother.
Perfectly said. Ja Morant already has a father. He doesn't need that. He needed a big bro, and that's exactly what Marcus Smart's going to be for him.
They all do. Him, Jaren, I feel like they have Steven Adams, but he's not as vocal as Marcus Smart.
They've won nothing to be villains. They should not be villains. They need to get their focus out of chatting too much and get back to what matters, and that's grinding and getting great.
I think you just hit it right there, and that was where I was going. My train of thought is that the Grizzlies to this point have been pompous, they've been arrogant, and they've been honestly thinking that they're the hot shit. They have been. Marcus Smart comes into this team now, and he's the voice that says, y'all haven't done anything. I've went to the finals.
Yep.
I've went to the conference finals. You guys have not even reached the conference finals, yet we have Ja on interviews talking about not having a threat in the Western Conference.
Fine in the West.
Marcus Smart is somebody that is going to punish that type of behavior, where Dylan Brooks was somebody that enforced it, and he's somebody that fed into it. Where Marcus Smart is now taking a team, is having the team take a step back and be more humble about their approach.
Correct.
And I think that's what they need, because the Grizzlies need an attitude change. And I think that's what Marcus Smart offers. On top of that, like you said, he's a big-time player in the playoffs. He averaged 15 and 6 in these past playoffs. He's averaged that in the past 2 playoffs, and he's a big-time shot maker. I just struggle with the Grizzlies' depth right now, because over the last 2 years, they've lost Tyus Jones, Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson, and DeAnthony Melton. Those are 4 really good role players.
Aldama's really good. He fills that role. Not
Brandon Clark will be back.
Brandon Clark. They got Clark. They got Aldama. They got Smart. If they just need a wing, that's the problem. They don't have a wing, and I think that's the most important. They still have Luke Kennard.
Word, Roddy.
Oh, I forgot about Luke
Kennard. They still have Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard could start
regular season. Yeah, he
could start.
Yeah.
He probably could start, because you need the 3-point
shooting. If you're not starting Smart, you're starting Kennard.
Yeah. So they need a wing. This is the problem. They need a wing back.
And also, I don't think starting Smart is a bad thing. I mean, this guy won DPOY because he was one of the most versatile defenders in the league.
Yeah,
he can guard bigger positions.
Yeah, but it's hard to start Ja, Smart, and Bean. That's such a small lineup.
It is,
But I think
Smart was starting with 2 6'6", 6'7" wings.
Yeah, but they were starting. It was him and Derek White for most of the year, and Derek White's 6'3", maybe.
Yeah, I think he can start if they had to Fortunately, they have Bane at the 2, so it's
it's just
Jaylen Brown 6'7",
But
6'5".
I'll say this: I feel like we could say that it's a smaller lineup, but you trust Marcus Smart and his versatility. Obviously, you have Jaren back there. You have Steven Adams, Brandon Clark, Tillman. Excuse me, I'm blanking on his first name. Xavier. Thank you very much. So you have those guys down low that are going to help you protect the rim, and of course, Jaren also provides versatility. I mentioned Marcus. Bane's a very solid defender himself. It just comes down to Ja, whether he's going to lock in on defensive side of the ball also, which he struggled to do so, but he's such an obvious, unbelievable offensive talent that maybe Marcus also instills that into him. Hey, become more of a defensive-minded player. Lead by example. When you go, the rest of the team goes. So I feel you on the small lineup, but I feel like you got to trust those guys because of how good they are defensively.
Smart just feels like a Grizzly too. I'm happy he's going to a place that I feel like culturally he's going to fit in. He's going to be able to be a leader for sure.
Rim protector behind him.
I'm happy that he's going to a place that he's not going to Wizards where he's just going to be nothing. He's going to be able to go to a team that's going to be able to contend. I'm going to cry when he goes back to Boston, man.
2 DPOY guys.
He's getting a tribute video for sure.
Easily.
Really?
Definitely.
Are you going to go to that game?
I think we'll get full tribute video.
If I'm at the stadium, I'm at the arena with Smart's back, I am definitely crying. It's not doubt in my mind.
I understand.
Fuck you.
I cried too. I understand.
Dude, you were just on my floor in the fetal position.
I cried, bro.
Like,
She
relax.
was in pain. Bro.
Yeah, I get it.
It wasn't even like the move. Like I knew he was gonna get moved, but it was the Christmas
all this
party.
she does for the community too. Shout out to him.
God.
All of this shit, going to the hospital, seeing the children.
They just come to the Memphis hospital. Same vibe.
I know, but he's
Just the Boston
he's
hospital
such a
was
pillar in the
different.
community, you know.
The last part of this trade was what the Wizards got, and I think they're probably the ones that benefited the most from this trade, given the fact that if it wasn't Tyus Jones, it was going to be Marcus Morris.
Yeah.
Tyus Jones
Huge upgrade.
is a starting point guard. He's going to average 16 and 8 with them, and he's one of the most efficient guys in the league.
Yeah.
In Memphis, when Ja was out, he upped his production. The efficiency stayed the same. He's just the perfect point guard, and I love him in Washington. And the fact that they got Jordan Poole now, I mean, the Wizards now, their roster doesn't look like the bottom of the bottom. It actually looks like a lineup that
just like the bottom.
maybe they can be sneaky. You know, that's the
Sneaky
type
what?
of vibe.
So
Sneaky what,
who's
Joel?
their five going to be? Tyus,
They're
Poole.
the new Jazz?
Yeah.
Bilal's not going to start.
Daniel
Bilal
Gafford.
should start
You think so?
as well. Fuck it, right?
Daniel Gafford.
Gafford at the 5.
Gafford
Who
is
are your
good.
wings? Denny Avia and
Corey Kispert.
Corey Kispert.
Fuck it, Bilal.
Or if they resign Kuz.
Let's
Their
do it.
lineup right now would be Tyus Jones, Jordan Poole, Advia, Bilal, Gafford, Kispert, Monty Morris, DeLon Wright, Landry
Team
Shamet,
sucks.
and Johnny
This team
Davis.
is dog shit, bro. We have a new pool party. It's in Washington now.
Team sucks.
Yeah, this team is dog shit, bro. They'll win 20 games.
You love the draft capital if you're
No, they didn't
Have
Amazing job.
optimism, bro.
No, they're gonna be fun. They're gonna lose a lot of games.
But I feel like if you're a Wizards fan, you want that. That's the whole point. We need
Lose
to be
as much
so
as
bad
possible.
It's
because
just
this
they have
team
a
is
6'10"
not.
Two
it's
guard coming in the
unfortunate
league.
they decided this right after we just had a fucking generational draft class.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I don't know what the next draft class is looking like, but I know
there's just a 6'10" two guard.
But then also,
what's his name?
Mataz something.
He's
going
a European player.
No, he's going
Is
to G League.
look at the last time that the
He's dumb
Wizards
nuts.
decided to rebuild and really have a new foundation. They were able to acquire John Wall. They were able to get Bradley Beal. And that's when we saw the Wizards at their peak, at least in recent memory, when
They already
they
have
were
the
the
new
3
John
seed. You're done, bro. You're done.
All right, new Gilbert Arenas.
So there's no optimism for this Wizards Jordan Poole that team.
I'm
Bro, you're
I'm
the
excited.
lead member of Wizards Nation now.
I'm excited. I can't wait to watch. I will literally be watching. I will get a
We
jersey.
had Smart
So
traded.
now you're a
Chuck
Denny
Clark
Avia
torn
guy.
Yeah,
ACL.
unfortunately.
I know.
It stinks, bro.
Corey
Eddie
Kispert?
Escobar gets traded. It's been a terrible.
Okay, I'm
48
gonna
hours for me, man.
let's finish off on this.
I'm with it.
Will the Washington Wizards win more games? Well, my goodness, my
That's
tongue
alive.
twisted. Will the Wizards win more games than these teams? First team up, the Toronto Raptors,
No.
The Raptors will definitely win more games.
the Chicago Bulls,
As of right now, no.
Is Levine traded?
If they trade,
As,
He's on
as,
the team.
as what the
He
team
stays on the
stands
team.
now.
All right,
no.
I'm taking Chicago.
Yeah.
Indiana Pacers,
Pacers,
Indiana.
Orlando Magic.
Magic.
Yeah, I'll take
I'm going with the Magic. The
Is
hope
that a
should be.
clearing?
I
It
think
Pretty
should, it
comfortably.
should be.
It should be if they're healthy. Yes.
It should be.
Charlotte Hornets,
I think the Wizards win one more game. I trust Poole more than LaMelo.
No.
I'll trust LaMelo and Brandon Miller
We
more.
see what happens when they're healthy. They're a playing team. I'm going with the Hornets.
Detroit Pistons.
Detroit's winning more games. I trust Cade.
So you're saying Washington is going to be the worst team in the Eastern Conference?
They might be the worst.
I
team in the
might
league.
go
No, I
Wizards
think-
here.
No, Washington should be the worst team in the Eastern Conference. If not, it's going to be them, Hornets, or
I think I
I don't
lean
know the
Pistons.
The
Pistons
there.
Pistons should be more fun to watch
They,
easily.
they
Pistons
have
will
more
be
talent
excited.
comfortably.
yeah, I would probably take Detroit.
This one's the closest one by far.
It is. I think I would lean Detroit.
So we're saying the Wizards ceiling at most is 13th seed in the
It should
East.
be
Yes.
in theory, yes.
I'd be
Jordan Poole
shocked
can
if
get more
they're
wins than
playing team.
LaMelo.
If Jordan Poole gets into a playing team,
Is
shout out
Victor
to
going to
Jordan
get more
Poole.
wins than Jordan Poole?
Yeah, he should.
He
They have
should.
a better team, the Spurs.
Okay.
Without both of them, they have a better team.
And you got
Rockets
Pop.
or the Wizards?
Should be,
Should
the,
be
Rockets.
The Wizards should have number one
Yeah,
pick.
with Ime now, is should change
You're
it
right.
up a little bit.
Wizards should be in prime position to get number one.
Trailblazers are the Wizards.
With
If they
I'm
have
going
Dame
with the
Blazers.
Blazers.
Wow.
Dame
Dame
didn't-
Blazers.
Shaden Sharp, year 2 movie.
You're too sharp.
Utah Jazz or the Wizards.
Jazz.
I
Lowry.
feel very good with the
They were
Jazz.
competitive last year.
The Spurs or the Wizards.
Yeah, Victor.
This one's also tough.
They have Keldon.
I feel like no, they're
Well,
done
Pop.
rebuilding. I feel like their whole
Trey
thing was to
Jones.
tank for Victor.
They got him.
Yeah, I'm going Spurs.
They got money too.
Yeah.
Spurs,
the
are the
Wizards-
Spurs about to be a destination again? I don't know if it ever
They
was.
never-
Are they
never
about to
really
be
were.
a destination or no?
Nah.
Not crazy.
They
No one
build
crazy.
internally.
They
Does
should be
it
able to get a
depend
couple
how
role
insane
players.
Victor is?
They'll build internally always.
Tim Duncan was insane.
Yeah.
Nobody went there.
They just kept
Fair.
Tony, Tim, Manu, and just built.
Well, they won a
around.
championship almost immediately.
Yeah, but nobody went there though.
Yeah,
David Robinson was insane too.
He
Nobody
was.
went there.
true.
Can't get over this.
They're just a small market. Sucks.
Yeah,
I think they are
I'm-
building internally though.
Yeah,
And I love their core.
I was gonna
Keldon,
say,
Vassell,
there it is.
Victor. If Victor is
Shohan.
20 and 10, they're a playing team in the West.
Okay.
If Victor is like that, is rookie
Okay.
West.
I mean,
No
listen,
doubt.
I don't see why he shouldn't be. I mean, we just saw Paolo average 20 points. Victor definitely should be able to average 20.
Now we're gonna get into these super chats and end off the show. This is from Uncle Ruckus. Dare I call CP3 a liability when he's on the court with Curry and Clay and Dre? Like, what will he bring that Curry can't do already?
Great question.
But
Don't
you
know.
shouldn't be comparing what he can't do to Curry. That's unfair.
Very true.
Nobody can do what Curry.
No one can.
Who's compared to Curry?
Like, what can he do that Curry?
Uncle
already
Ruckus
can't
is
do?
saying that Chris Paul is a liability on the court for the Warriors.
I just don't know what their lineups are going to look like.
It's gonna be funky. You trust Curry to figure it out, right?
Biggie Steve goes, Wizards will make the play, and if we keep Kuz, buy him at $83 million for 4 years.
I mean, 80. I think he's going to get more
You
than
may hear
that.
the first part.
Yeah, lost me there. But
No
I
way.
think he'll get more than
No
80.
shot in hell.
No way.
I'd be surprised.
Porzingis was just unbelievable, and they didn't even sniff the play-in. So no.
Had Beal and Kuzma.
Biggie Steve goes, free agency hasn't hit yet, guys. Let's see what's next.
Free's kind of mid this
No
year.
one's. I don't know who he's talking
A lot
about.
of
No
role
one's going to
players.
Washington. Like, that's what he's talking about. You know?
Hey, Fred.
I
Lakers.
don't know how many more we have, but before we go,
That's it.
can you guys just please clear my head? Who is the playmaker the Celtics are going to go get?
Mike Conley.
Oh, I'm going to kill myself.
She's not leaving Minnesota.
Don't do that, man.
Sorry, just don't.
What are you doing?
Streets need you.
Fred VanVleet.
Fred would be
How much
lit.
money do
We
you
don't
have?
have money.
Paying Pritchard takes a step up.
Oh God.
Yeah, you're fucked.
The money we have is sign and trade with Grant. And if Brogdon is able to get traded, then we have that.
Let's see. Coping for Dehls. We'll give you. We would have gave you Ryan
You
Rollins.
know what? You know the name all Celtics fans are saying. It cracks me up.
Mhm.
You want Tyrese Halliburton. So how the fuck are we gonna get that?
Jaylen Brown. That's the
What about Russell Westbrook?
I've seen that too.
fucked if you do it.
I don't know.
What?
I don't
They
know.
got spacing.
You do.
If he knows his role,
Bro, if there's any team he can go
I'll be
to and
honest, you guys do
thrive,
have
bro, that'd be
spacing.
fire.
if he knows his role,
At this point, fuck it.
What if you
Pat
guys
Bev?
get?
Pat Bev's the name I've seen.
What if you guys just
Playmaker?
get Bruce Brown
Hey, trade us. Give us a
If
first.
y'all-
pick.
hard?
If y'all steal Dennis
He can play
Schroeder from
point
us,
guard.
I'm gonna be sick.
For
Bruce
Spurs,
Brown's not
for
playing
Spurs.
point
Alex
guard for
Caruso.
us.
Are you out on Dennis Schroeder?
We tried that. It was a disaster.
Caruso.
He's
Uh,
only
the
good in
first.
LA.
Oh,
Y'all did have Schroeder. I forgot about
he was
that.
terrible for us.
Give us a first round pick.
James Harden
Give
was
us a-
just
Caruso?
cooking.
I don't know if Caruso's like the playmaker we need.
He locked shit up.
You want
He does,
Io?
but we need no.
Desumnu, bro.
We need two. we need.
So we're fucked.
Oh, you're right. Desumnu has early bird
We're
restricted
giving.
free agent.
We can match it. We're giving him the qualifier.
So before we go, just a reminder that our merch will be dropping soon. Hat, shirts, and fleece shorts. We're gonna have it both in black and in white. This is a sneak peek of how they're going to look like. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to click a like on this, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter at PickAsidePod, on Instagram and TikTok at PickAside Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Never gonna get over.